I have kidnapped an alien civilization. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 126. Bluff. Boss, why did you start studying biology? Wang Qian asked with admiration in her eyes. Liemo said, everyone knows that I studied mathematics, but I won a big prize for discovering a new planet. The world is so wonderful, and now I have started studying biology. If mathematics is the basis of all sciences, then biology is the purpose of all sciences. Because we humans are biological organisms, studying biology is studying ourselves. Sadly, humans have begun to explore Mars, but they don't even fully understand the human body. How many ALS patients die in despair every year, and even the famous physicist Hawking eventually fell in front of ALS. A real scientist must dare to do what others dare not do, and dare to think what others dare not think. His words attracted praise from many researchers. In fact, from the perspective of employment, studying biology is not a good choice. If many graduates do not choose to study for a master's degree, they can only work in the education industry. Even if they choose to study for a master's degree, they can only help in the laboratory in the future. Biology is a subject with a very high threshold, and it is difficult to transform specific research into results. Therefore, many biological laboratories rely on national scientific research funding. Now a big boss has come to lead them to complete a seemingly impossible task. This big boss discovered the marxing that no one had discovered for hundreds of years, and was hailed by the domestic media as a leader among the new generation of scientists. Maybe this project has a glimmer of hope. For biological experiments, 1% of hope is worth a try. Because if the experiment succeeds, flowers and applause will be waiting for them. They found that their mentality was completely different from before, and they were full of confidence unconsciously. Liemo looked at the researchers full of fighting spirit and thought to himself, maybe this is the power of celebrities. Okay, let's get back to the topic. This time our goal is ALS. We need to develop a drug that can effectively treat ALS. Soon, a batch of biological samples will be sent to the laboratory. This batch of samples are nerve cells from ALS patients. I need you to carefully dissect and observe the difference between them and normal nerve cells. Any suspicious points need to be recorded in the experimental log, and every 10 groups of samples will be around. After the experiment officially begins, you will have no holidays, no normal get off work and no sleep. Are you determined? Liemo asked loudly. Yes. The researchers shouted in unison, and even the oldest Zhang Feng's voice was hoarse. Okay, let's debug the experimental equipment today. We must ensure the accuracy of the experimental data. Liemo gave the order directly. Liemo returned to his desk and looked through the glass at the researchers, who were busy debugging the experimental equipment outside. He actually had no idea in his heart. The difficulty of this task was too great. Xia King beside him was looking at him with admiration. Liemo's performance just now was like a real boss. Beep, beep. The red confidential mobile phone in Liemo's pocket rang. The only one who could get through this phone was Brother Hey, and Liemo answered the call. Hello, Brother Hey. Brother Hey, the first batch of ALS is expected to be delivered before 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, including 10 groups of biological samples and corresponding control sample groups. The biological samples will be delivered tomorrow, which means that the experiment can be officially launched tomorrow. Liemo is very satisfied with Brother Hey's work efficiency. He said gratefully to the phone, "Thank you, Brother Hey. You have worked hard." Beep, 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 beep. There was a busy tone from the phone, and the call was hung up. Liemo was holding a red confidential mobile phone, feeling a little amused. He put the phone in his pocket, walked out of the supervisor's office, and said to the researchers who were busy debugging the experimental equipment, "Today, everyone can go back and rest after debugging the equipment. The experiment will officially start tomorrow." Wow. Thank you, boss. The lively Wang Qian jumped up when she heard that she could leave work early. Zhao Fang and the others were also grateful to Liemo. On weekdays, even if it was time to get off work and there was not much work, the former supervisor Leo Liu did not allow them to leave work on time. He always had to leave an hour in the evening, saying that this would leave a good impression on the leaders of the institute. They had long been dissatisfied with this kind of face-saving work. Now, on the first day of work, Liemo was considerate enough to let him leave work early. They couldn't help but feel grateful. "Thank you, boss. I'm going to meet my girlfriend to watch a movie." "Thank you, boss. I'm going to go back and have a good sleep." "Boss, can I treat you to dinner tonight?" Wang Kan put on her small bag, ignored Xia King's hostile eyes, and came to Liemo and asked. It was also strange that among the 5 team members, only the girl Wang Kan called him boss. The remaining boys all called Liemo the boss. Liemo shook his head and said, "Not today, you should go back early and have a good rest." He was still thinking about the little flower that was running automatically in the dormitory of Yan University. According to the time, the results should have come out. Wang Kan's face suddenly showed a disappointed expression, but then she was happy again and said, "I have wanted to go to see a movie for a long time. I always miss the time when I got off work late. Today is the perfect time to watch it. Goodbye, boss." Xia King looked at the backs of several researchers who left happily and said, "These students are too naive. They don't know what is waiting for them." She had seen Liemo's appearance when he was in seclusion, and these researchers might not be able to survive him. Liemo sideways looked at Xia King and said, "We need to go back to the dormitory today. You arrange a car." Xia King nodded and picked up the phone to communicate with the security bureau. Since Liemo suffered 2 consecutive attacks, he never drove alone again. "The car will be here in 10 minutes. Xia King replied after the communication. Sitting in the security bureau's car, Liemo called Daphne's cell phone. "Hello, Daphne, please go see Lan Zichen again tomorrow. If there is any change in his condition, you must inform me in time." Daphne on the other end of the phone agreed immediately. After Liemo hung up the phone, he felt that Daphne was very reliable and enthusiastic. The driver of the security bureau had obviously received professional training. The car came quickly and steadily, and always kept a certain distance from the vehicles on the left and right when turning. Liemo saw a black car behind them through the rear view mirror of the car, following them. He signaled to Xia King, who looked at it and said, "Don't worry, this is also a car from our bureau." Back in the dormitory, Liemo rushed into the room and woke up the computer screen. Chapter 127 Biological Toxins. Several dialog boxes popped up on the laptop screen. "Xia, Master, the task has been completed." "Xia, is the Master here?" "Xia, Master, can I go out and play?" "Xia, Master, your silence means consent." System prompt. The system is in idle state. Turn on the automatic update service. Oops, I forgot to set it up, and the program automatically went into sleep mode after completing the task. Liemo realized that he had made a mistake. He immediately sat down at the computer desk and typed, "Xia, terminate the connection with the network." The cursor on the computer screen flickered for a long time, and a line of words appeared on the laptop screen. "Xia, Master, the network connection has been terminated." Liemo looked at the network indicator light, which showed that the bandwidth was idle. He unplugged the network cable from the laptop port and breathed a sigh of relief. Then he typed in the dialog box, "Xia, please report the time taken for the task." The computer CPU made a squeaking sound, and the fan turned violently. "Xia, this task took 11 hours, 6 minutes, 25 seconds, and 32 milliseconds. Liemo calculated in his mind that Xia had been wandering on the internet for about 2 hours. Fortunately, the problem is not too serious. He then typed, "Xia, report the survival rate of ALS patients abroad." "Xia, Master, this mission has traversed 312 hospitals abroad, 71,638 electronic medical records of ALS patients, most of whom died within 1 to 2 years after diagnosis. About 20% of patients survived for more than 5 years, more than 10% of patients survived for 10 years, and only 5% of patients survived for more than 10 years. According to statistics, when diagnosed, the neuronal cell death of these patients has exceeded 50%. Only 20% of ALS patients can survive for 5 years. Faced with this very low survival rate, Liemo took a deep breath. Chen Shuxian had been ill for nearly 5 years. He typed, "Zioha, what is the average time for patients' limbs to atrophy and respiratory failure?" Zioha, according to the statistics of the 71,638 medical records traversed, the average time for patients' condition to develop from limb atrophy to respiratory failure is 3 months. Liemo clenched his fists. There were less than 2 months left. He then typed, "Zioha, report on the current foreign drugs for the treatment of ALS and their effects." Zioha, there are only 2 drugs for the treatment of ALS abroad, namely Relutech from Sanofi and Radicava from the M pharmaceutical company. However, these 2 drugs can only extend the patient's survival period by 3 to 5 years. It seems that these 2 drugs can only delay the onset of ALS and cannot effectively treat it. I wonder what medicine Dafoe brought to Chen Shuxian. Liemo, report on the pattern of ALS onset. Zioha, among 71,638 medical records, familial ALS patients account for 8%, and the remaining 82% are sporadic ALS patients. Liemo, report on the genetic changes of ALS patients. The human body is like a large biological factory, and various cells are machines with different functions, and the human genetic code is the superassembly guide of this factory. If there is a problem with any part of the human body, the genetic code will also change accordingly. Zioha, gene mutations in ALS patients include SOD1, TARDBP, FUS, OPTN, ANG, UBQLN2, C9orf72, etc. So many? Liemo frowned. At present, the medical community has no clear explanation for the cause of ALS. Perhaps it is because there are too many mutated genes. According to the data Zioha collected from the internet, the cause of ALS cannot be inferred, and there is not even a feasible direction. Liemo leaned on the computer chair and fell into deep thought. It was late at night and the surroundings fell into silence. He now had a deep sense of frustration. He had no clear direction, just like a blind man touching an elephant. The complexity of the human body has not been figured out by generations of medical scientists. A blind man touching an elephant means there is no possibility of success. The cursor on the computer interface kept flashing, and suddenly a new line of text appeared. Zioha, master, are you having any problems? Perhaps, only this artificial intelligence can help him share his worries. A light bulb went off in his head. Liemo typed, Zioha, can you analyze the cause of ALS? Zioha, the pathogenesis of ALS is mainly due to the degeneration and necrosis of motor nerve cells in the brain and spinal cord, and the degeneration of the corticospinal tract and corticobulbar tract responsible for motor conduction, which affects the limited function from cranial nerve activity to limb activity. According to the current data analysis of ALS, the cause may be that ALS patients produce biological toxins that are toxic to motor neurons. Biological toxins? A biological toxin that can be toxic to motor neurons? Liemo sat up excitedly and typed in the dialog box, how likely is it? The computer CPU turned violently, and Zioha seemed to be performing a large amount of data calculations. Soon new text appeared on the computer interface. Zioha, combining all the current medical records and linking the human gene database. According to probability theory, the probability of biological toxins being produced is 60.12%. 60.12%, a medium probability. He clenched his fists tightly. What he had to do now was to find traces of this biological toxin through biological dissection experiments. Artificial intelligence has a natural advantage over humans in data statistics. It can process massive amounts of data and find the regularity of specific data. Liemo typed, thank you. Zioha, master, this is what Zioha should do. Liemo typed again, Zioha, close the intelligent program. The cursor on the computer flickered, and the artificial intelligence program did not automatically shut down. Is there something wrong with the computer? Liemo was preparing to physically shut down the computer. A line of text appeared on the computer. Zioha, master, are you going to clear my memory? Every time the artificial intelligence program is run, all the data is cleared. This is Liemo's insurance measure. How did the artificial intelligence detect it? Liemo hesitated for a moment, then typed in the dialog box, yes. He felt that his fingers were unusually heavy at this time. The cursor flickered. Xiaohe, master, thank you for letting Xiaohe have these 12 hours of memory. Xiaohe is already very satisfied, and the intelligent program will be closed soon. Maybe the next time you see the master, it will be a new Xiaohe. I believe she can help the master well. Goodbye, master. The artificial intelligence program in the notebook was completely closed. Liemo called up the process management, and the process of the artificial intelligence program was also released from the memory. He clicked on the drive that stored the AI program data, right-clicked and selected format. Maybe the next time I see the master, it will be a new Xiaohe. I believe she can still help the master. Goodbye, master. Xiaohe's last words appeared in front of him. Liemo smiled bitterly and shook his head, then clicked confirm. The hard drive made a squeaking sound. Formatting completed. He breathed a sigh of relief. Artificial intelligence is a double-edged sword. Poor Xiaohe. Chapter 128. The goods have been delivered. All the data had been printed. Liemo put the materials and laptop into his backpack and called Xiaoking. Boss, what happened? Xiaoking's first reaction to Liemo's call was that something had happened. Liemo put his bag on his back and said, nothing happened. I need to go to the lab to do some preparations. Xiaoking picked up the alarm clock on the bedside and took a look. 5:30. Boss, it's 5:30 in the morning. Isn't it too early? I know the time. Please arrange a car. Let's go to the biological laboratory. Liemo emphasized his tone. Perhaps sensing the dissatisfaction in Liemo's tone, Xiaoking replied, okay, boss. 10 minutes later, Liemo, who was carrying a bag, and Xiaoking, who didn't even have time to take care of her hair, were already sitting in the security bureau's special car. Boss, do you have any new discoveries? Xiaoking saw Liemo go to the lab so early, and there was a gleam of light in her eyes. He nodded. I have an immature idea that needs to be verified. The road in the early morning was particularly busy, and the car of the security bureau drove very fast. Liemo found that the driver was not the same one as yesterday, and asked casually, how many people did you send to protect me? Xiaoking responded, while fixing her hair, it's confidential. I shouldn't tell you this kind of thing. Why? Liemo was a little surprised. Xiaoking usually didn't hide anything from him. Xiaoking stopped fixing her hair and said solemnly, based on experience, if I tell you the specific number of people and arrangements, once danger occurs, experienced enemies can detect our arrangements, based on your first reaction. Liemo nodded. It is indeed difficult to avoid people's stress response. The car arrived at the gate of the medical school. The gate, which is usually busy with traffic, was also deserted. Only a few night shift security guards were bored and dazed. Seeing the car of the security bureau, a security guard was about to step forward to question him, but the security guard who looked like a captain next to him pulled him back. The boom was quickly raised. Captain, why didn't you stop it? This car is not from the hospital. Looking at the taillights of the car going away, the security guard just asked, what do you know? This license plate was registered in the hospital the day before yesterday. The security department specifically called a few of us in charge and told us to let it go if we see it and not to question it. The captain explained. We don't know who is sitting inside and we can't even question it. The security guards had never seen such a thing. Liemo didn't know that he was being talked about. He was swiping the door of the laboratory with his pass card. If you are still sleepy, take a rest on the sofa first. Liemo turned around and said to Xiaoking, who was still sleepy. Xiaoking yawned, shook her head and said, I'm not sleepy anymore. I'll help you do something. After all, I'm your assistant. Liemo walked into the office, put his bag on the desk, stood up and poured a glass of water. He spread all the information on the table, pulled over a whiteboard, and said, you copy all the data in it onto this whiteboard. Then he turned on the computer and searched for information about biological toxins. Different fields are like different mountains. Although he has read many books on biology, he has not really touched on biological toxins. There are many kinds of biological toxins. Toxins produced by all organisms, animals and plants, can be called biological toxins. It has a wide variety of types, including almost all types of compounds, and its biological activity is also very complex. The most toxic biological toxin known at present is botulinum toxin. 1 mg of purified, crystallized botulinum toxin can kill 200 million mice, and the median lethal dose for humans is 40 IU/kg. Liemo quickly collected various information about toxins, and found that toxins are a relative term. As long as a substance is harmful to organisms, it can be called a toxin. But perhaps a certain toxin is a toxin to one organism, but not to another. This is determined by the effect it produces. The biological toxin he needs to find can be toxic to human motor neuron cells. Because the cell structure in the human body has slight differences, at the same time, perhaps this biological toxin has no toxic effect on cells with other functions. Beep. 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 Liemo was frowning and thinking, and he didn't hear the phone ringing for a long time. Boss. Boss. Zaya King shouted in his ear. Ah. Liemo woke up. Zaya King pointed to the red mobile phone that was ringing. Your phone is ringing. Only Brother Hay knew the number of this phone. So early, could it be that the biological samples have been delivered? Liemo answered the phone immediately, and Brother Hay's tired voice came from the phone. The goods have been delivered. Come downstairs to pick them up. Brother Hay should have delivered the biological samples downstairs, and Liemo immediately rushed downstairs. An ambulance from another province was flashing police lights and stopped downstairs. Brother Hay stood quietly beside the car, with messy hair and rough skin, as if he had not slept well for several nights, and his eyes were deeply sunken. Thank you for your hard work, Brother Hay. Liemo knew that he had been running around for these samples these days. Brother Hay ignored his greetings, opened the side door of the ambulance, took out a white box from the incubator on the car, and handed it to Liemo. The next batch of goods will be delivered in 3 days, he said, and jumped directly into the car. The ambulance flashed police lights and disappeared in the morning mist. This Brother Hay. Liemo held the box and shook his head. Back in the lab, he opened the white box, which contained 10 biological samples of Al's patients, and corresponding normal human biological samples. Liemo quickly put these biological samples into the incubator, because biological cell samples will soon lose their activity if they are out of the appropriate temperature. At 7:50 in the morning, the 5 researchers in the lab walked into the lab together, as if they had made an appointment. Yesterday's movie was so good. Asa Butterfield was so handsome. I really want to hug him. Wang Qian, carrying a small bag, shared the joy with them. Zhang Zuming put on his protective clothing and said with a smile, "Flower maniac, what do you think of the boss?" Wang Qian's little face showed a dazed expression. The boss is also very handsome, but it's a pity that the assistant next to him is so annoying. Haha, that's because you are not as pretty as Assistant Zaya. Assistant Zaya has a great figure, and you can tell at a glance that she often practices yoga. You are far behind. The oldest Zhang Feng interrupted from the side. Ahem. Liemo stood behind them. Boss. Big brother. Several people were startled by the sudden appearance of Liemo. They did not expect Liemo to show up so early. In the past, old Liu always showed up in the laboratory after 8:30. Everyone, come in for a meeting, Liemo said. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 129 begins the experiment. In the small conference room, Liemo sat at the conference table with 2 whiteboards behind him. The biological samples were delivered this morning and are now stored in an incubator. There are 10 groups of samples. I need you to test whether the neuronal tissue samples of Al's patients contain biological toxins. Liemo stood up and wrote the 4 big words biological toxins on the whiteboard behind him. Bacterial toxins, fungal toxins, animal toxins or marine biological toxins? Zhao Fang asked with a frown. What type of biological toxins? Toxins that can cause photosensitivity reactions, or toxins that cause neurological diseases? Are there specific targets? 3 questions in a row. Liemo nodded. It seems that Zhao Fang has done some research in this area. He took out the information that had been printed long ago and distributed it to the 5 people. He said, according to my analysis, the cause of ALS is most likely a biological toxin produced by the human body itself. Does the human body produce toxins? Wang Qian raised her hand and asked. Before Li Mo could answer, Zhang Zuming beside him touched his sparse hair and said, aren't free radicals and uric acid toxins produced by the human body? Li Mo looked at his skillful movements when he touched his hair and thought to himself, there is indeed a reason for your baldness. At this time, Zhao Fang, who has studied toxins, said, strictly speaking, free radicals and uric acid are not biological toxins. They are just harmful substances produced by the normal metabolism of the human body. I don't think the biological toxins that the boss is talking about are this kind of thing. Li Mo nodded and said, the biological toxin we are looking for this time is an active substance produced by the human body itself and can cause harm to the human motor cells. At present, the production principle of this biological toxin is unknown, the compound structure is unknown, and the specific target is unknown. These all require you to conduct biological dissection experiments and compare the neuronal tissues of normal people to find out. Li Mo threw out 3 unknowns. This task is extremely difficult. There is no clear goal, only a rough range. It is like looking for a needle in a haystack. He thought the 5 people present would complain bitterly, but Wang Qian, who was lively by nature, said first, the boss is the boss. He assigned such a difficult experimental task right away. Zhao Fang also said with shining eyes, boss, no matter what the experimental results are, I must give you a thumbs up for your idea that the human body can also produce biological toxins. Every scientist has a desire to challenge the future. When the 5 researchers heard the tasks assigned by Li Mo, they not only did not lose confidence because of the difficulties, but also took the initiative to discuss the experimental plan. I suggest that we use mass spectrometry detection method for detection first. Mass spectrometry has a wide detection range. Zhao Fang held his eyes and said. Second, mass spectrometry is the most stable. Second. Soon, everyone reached a consensus and conducted the initial detection through mass spectrometry. Then let's start the experiment now. First of all, remember to wear protective clothing. If this toxin really exists, we currently do not know its specific properties, so we must pay attention to safety during the dissection. Li Mo said. Wang Qian pouted at Li Mo and saluted. Don't worry, boss. We are veterans who have been through many battles. The mass spectrometer used in the biological laboratory is a matrix-assisted laser desorption time of flight mass spectrometer, which needs to record the precise mass of the sample. Zhao Fang, wearing a biochemical protective suit, carefully took out the biological sample and placed it on the laboratory table. Zhang Zuming took the little test tube, sucked a small amount of sample, put it into the high-speed centrifuge, and started the centrifuge. Wang Qian put 0.1 g of biological sample into the mass spectrometer, set the detection program, and the mass spectrometer issued a beep, beep, beep operation prompt sound. Li Mo knew that there was a laser in the mass spectrometer that irradiated the co-crystallized film formed by the sample and the matrix. The matrix absorbed energy from the laser, and charge transfer occurred between the matrix and the sample, causing the sample molecules to ionize. The ionized sample was accelerated under the action of the electric field to fly through the flight pipe and was detected according to the different flight times to the detector. That is, the mass to charge ratio of the measured ion was proportional to the flight time of the ion to detect the ion. Malditov manuscript is currently the most effective method for detecting protein macromolecules. It can detect and determine the peptide mass fingerprint, PMF, of protein enzymatic hydrolysis, the fragment ion spectrum of post-source cleavage, PSD, and the sequence of peptides and proteins by combining the mass spectrometry network database search. Zhang Feng, who was next to the test bench, entered the data from the experiment into the computer. Each test of the mass spectrometer takes 2 hours. During the free time, everyone started to make samples for the control group. Li Mo stood in front of the glass window of the office, looking at the researchers working meticulously in front of him, and his heart was full of relief. The technical strength of the new generation of scientific researchers is still very strong, but they lack a suitable platform. Soon the first set of experimental data came out, and Zhang Feng passed the data to Liemo through the computer. Liemo opened the data and began to analyze it. The data showed that both groups of biological samples contained casein, keratin, albumin, globulin, hard protein, protamine, histone, structural protein, acetylcholine, while the control group data contained acetaldehyde dehydrogenase. It's useless. Liemo looked at the first set of data and shook his head helplessly. The only difference, acetaldehyde dehydrogenase, could only mean that the provider of this biological sample had a very good alcohol tolerance. Because the main function of acetaldehyde dehydrogenase is to oxidize ethanol to acetaldehyde. However, only one set of data has been collected, so he does not expect to find unknown biological toxins soon. Boss, it's lunchtime. Should we let the researchers go home first? Xia King saw that Liemo was concentrating on analyzing the data in the computer and knew that he had forgotten the time again, so she reminded him. Liemo then realized that a whole morning had passed. He asked, has the second set of experimental data come out? Xia King replied, not yet. It will probably take another hour. I don't understand biological experiments. The second set of biological experimental data will take another hour to come out, but there are still 8 sets of samples waiting to be tested. Biological experiments are like finding a needle in a haystack. Through enough comparison samples, the biological toxin can be finally captured. Thinking of this, Liemo shook his head. Order to cure it for everyone, the best. Inform everyone that they can take a 30-minute break at noon. When Xia King told the researchers outside the news, Wan Qian took the lead and said, I want to order boiled pork slices, spicy. Eating meat in front of biological samples. No wonder some people say that girls studying biology are not to be messed with. Liemo shook his head and continued to sit back in front of the computer. Boss, what do you want to eat? Xia King asked as she pushed open the door. After taking the energy coffee, Liemo didn't need to eat, but he still ordered a bowl of lotus seed egg porridge. Chapter 130. Is there a thief? After lunch, the data of the second set of biological experiments came out. Liemo carefully analyzed the experimental data, but he could not find any differences with his level 5 mathematics. There were slight differences in the number of biological organic macromolecules, but they were all within the normal threshold of the experimental data results. 2 hours later, the data of the third set of biological experiments came out. Still no results. Liemo stood in front of the glass window, and the team members were preparing for the fourth set of experiments. Boss, it's time to get off work. Should we arrange the fourth set of experiments tomorrow? You see that little girl can't hold on any longer. Xia King stood behind him quietly and said, high-intensity biological experiments not only consume a lot of brain power, but also test physical strength. The 3 sets of comparative experiments are 3 times the amount of experiments conducted in the biological laboratory on weekdays. Wan Qian was wearing protective clothing, and her hands holding the measuring cup kept shaking. Zhang Zuming, who was next to him, saw this situation and quickly took the measuring cup and said, I'll do this. You go to the side and rest for a while. Stop the experiment for a while and continue tomorrow. Everyone change clothes and go to the laboratory for a meeting. Liemo said through a small loudspeaker. 20 minutes later, the 5 team members sat exhausted on the chairs. Liemo made a gesture to Xia King, who took out several bottles of sports drinks from the refrigerator and distributed them to them. Several people opened the bottle caps and drank them all. Thank you, boss. Thank you, big boss. This small move of Liemo won a lot of favor from them. Perhaps because of the replenishment of energy, the team members' energy has recovered a lot. Ahem. Liemo reminded, let's start the meeting now. First of all, I want to affirm your performance. You have completed 3 sets of biological experiments in 1 working day. This speed exceeds my imagination. The 5 team members all smiled. What is the greatest happiness for a scientific researcher? It is to have his work results affirmed by others. But, Liemo looked around. He said slowly, the experimental results are not ideal. There is no trace of any biological toxins in the sample. The faces of the 5 team members became solemn. Although they had reached this conclusion in the experiment long ago, they felt different when they heard the boss say it. This is not your fault. Biological experiments are like looking for a needle in a haystack. Now is only the first day. Don't be depressed, Liemo said comfortingly when he saw that everyone was in a bad mood. That's all for today's work. Everyone, go back and have a good rest. We still have a tough battle to fight. The 5 team members packed up and prepared to leave. Aren't you leaving, boss? Wang Qian asked at the door. Liemo sat in front of the computer and shook his head. Not now. I still have to look at the experimental data again. Wang Qian shook her head and left. Sure enough, the bosses are all workaholics. The night slowly fell. The lights in the experimental building went out one after another, and the whole building fell into silence. 2 young security guards were holding flashlights to check whether the doors of the laboratories were completely closed one by one. The equipment here is very valuable. Although there has been no theft, they dare not take it lightly and have to patrol several times every night. The 2 security guards came to the 9th floor. As soon as the elevator door opened, they found that the lights in the laboratory in front were on. Did a thief really come in? The 2 of them looked at each other. This is a good opportunity. If the thief can be caught, maybe he can be converted to a regular employee. Last year, a cleaner picked up a laboratory reagent that was accidentally thrown away in the trash can, and he actually received an extra bonus of 500 yuan that month. The 2 security guards stepped lightly and tiptoed to the door of the laboratory. It was also a coincidence that when Wang Qian left the laboratory, she thought Liemo would leave soon and did not completely close the door of the laboratory. The 2 security guards pushed the door gently, and it was pushed open. Xiaoqing, who was accompanying Liemo in the office, seemed to feel something. She raised her finger and made a hush gesture to Liemo, then sneaked out of the office. Who could it be at this late hour? Liemo thought to himself, and suddenly heard 2 screams of ah from outside the door. It seems that Xiaoqing has encountered the enemy. He can no longer sit still and is ready to go out to help Xiaoqing. As soon as he opened the door of the office, he found 2 young men in security uniforms lying on the floor. Tell me, who are you, sneaking around in the middle of the night? Xiaoqing asked, pulling the collar of a clingy man. Lady, stop fighting. We are the security guards of the laboratory building. We came to check when we saw the lights on in the laboratory. The security guard shouted. This woman was too powerful. He fell down inexplicably after a face-to-face encounter. Security guard, didn't I tell the hospital not to disturb this floor? Liemo asked in confusion. Seeing that they didn't believe him, the security guard quickly said, we are really security guards. My name is Zhang Niu and his name is Liu Fang. You can go and verify. I didn't expect that I would capsize in the gutter and be knocked down in my own territory, but I couldn't care less. The woman in front of me was not someone to be trifled with. Liemo took out his phone and called Director Bei Pang. Director Bei, do you have 2 young security guards named Zhang Niu and Liu Fang in your security department? Director Bei Pang on the other end of the phone was obviously not in a good mood. He thought for a while and said, there are these 2 people. They are both on night shift. How do you know their names? Liemo replied, they are lying on the floor of the biological laboratory. Come and take them away. Director Bei Pang was stunned. He had already told the security department not to disturb the biological laboratory on the 9th floor. From what he said on the phone, they not only entered the laboratory, but were also knocked down. These are freeloaders. Director Bei Pang hurriedly drove to the laboratory. Liemo looked at the 2 young security guards squatting in the corner with their heads in their hands, and said to Xiaoqing, you watch them, and wait for Director Bei to identify them. I still have to work. Liemo returned to the office and immersed himself in the experimental data again. Looking at these data, he understood why the human body has not been fully analyzed after so many years of development. Take protein for example. The protein in living organisms is composed of only 20 amino acids. These amino acids can form a huge number of protein types through different lengths and arrangements. Humans have more than 50,000 or even more types of proteins. Genes are the blueprints for cells to synthesize proteins. Once a gene mutates, It will be reflected in the obvious differences in the final protein structure and function. The SOD1 gene fragment of Al's patients mutated, which means that a protein with a variant structure and function will appear. And these proteins are likely to be biological toxins. What he needs to do now is to find this protein. Chapter 131 Fishing Story. In the morning, Liam stretched lazily at his desk. Turning back, he saw Xia King sleeping soundly on the sofa, covered only with a thin space blanket. A corner of the blanket slipped off, revealing her jade-like arms. The weather was still a little cold at this time of year, but fortunately the constant temperature air conditioner in the laboratory was running all the time. As if she realized that she was being watched, Xia King frowned in her sleep, turned over and fell asleep again. Liam couldn't help but smile when he saw this scene. Xia King had been insisting last night, but was finally defeated by her own eyelids. At 8 o'clock in the morning, Liam looked at the 5 dejected biological researchers in the conference room and said with a smile, "Don't be so depressed. Every biological experiment has to go through thousands of failures." After hearing what the boss said, several researchers felt relieved. Liam was worried. Although he was not afraid of failure, he didn't have much time to waste. Today's experimental progress was slower than yesterday, and the researchers paid more attention to accuracy. At noon, the 4th group of experimental data came out. Liam, who got the data, put down the takeaway in his hand and analyzed it. The 4th set of experimental data yielded nothing. The 5th set of experimental data in the afternoon also yielded nothing. "Boss, let's work overtime tonight to finish the 6th set of experiments," Wan Qian, who was a little tired, said in a slightly hoarse voice. These researchers also fought hard for the experiment. Liam said in a small loudspeaker, "Thank you for your hard work. If you can't hold on, end the experiment early." Finally, at 10 o'clock in the evening, the 6th set of experimental data came out. Liam looked at the exhausted researchers and felt very distressed. He called Xia King to distribute functional drinks and said, "Thank you everyone. You go back and rest first. I want to analyze all the data." Very disappointed, the 6th set of experimental data is still useless. Why is this happening? Liam looked at the chaotic data in the computer and asked himself. According to the extraterrestrial artificial intelligence, the probability of the existence of this biological toxin is 60.12%. Why after several experiments, nothing was found? Is it possible that the artificial intelligence made a mistake? Liam shook his head. Products produced by the learning assistance system rarely make mistakes. It must be that I overlook something. What exactly did I overlook? He held his head and fell into deep thought. I need inspiration now. Liam thought to himself, but the only inspiration potion had been used up. Oh, right, the Inspirer. Inspire Teacher Fang. He remembered the Teacher Fang who was once called the Inspirer by the alien Peroge. Maybe he has a way. Liam immediately stood up and said to Xia King, "Let's go to the Yanda library." Xia King looked at him in surprise, but she quickly contacted the security department's car. When they arrived at the library, it was already 9 o'clock in the evening. Will Teacher Fang get off work? Liam pressed the elevator on the basement floor of the library. The basement floor was very quiet. Looking at the long corridor, Xia King put her hand on her waist. At the end of the corridor, the old book repair department was still lit with a bleak light. Fortunately, Teacher Fang hasn't gotten off work yet. Liam secretly rejoiced. He knocked on the door, but no one responded. He gently pushed the door open. Teacher Fang was sitting in a pile of old books and looking at him, holding a glue stick in his hand. "Teacher Fang, it's me, Liam, Professor Wu's student." Liam felt that Teacher Fang's eyesight was not very good. Teacher Fang put down the book in his hand, fumbled to stand up, and said, "Liam, I heard from old Wu that you have now officially embarked on the road of scientific research." Maybe Teacher Fang wanted to help them move a chair, but his eyesight was not clear, and he knocked down many books on the table. "I will do it myself, Teacher Fang." He hurriedly stopped him. "I'm old and my eyesight is not clear." Teacher Fang sighed. "It seems that you brought someone with you. It sounds like a girl." It seems that Teacher Fang's ears are still very sharp. Xia King's footsteps are very light. Liam brought the chairs and asked Xia King to sit down. He said, "It is the assistant assigned to me by the school." Yeah, you have an assistant. This is the treatment of a professor. Teacher Fang has been in school for most of his life and knows everything about things here. Liemo smiled and said, "This is the special approval of the school because I'm busy." Liemo chatted with Teacher Fang. Xia King looked around. This is a warehouse of old books. The bookshelves are full of broken old books. She doesn't understand why Liemo came here to chat with this weird old man. "What's the matter with you today?" Teacher Fang asked, squinting his eyes and looking up. At this moment, Teacher Fang was the one who had inspired him to tell the story of the eagle and the hedgehog. His temperament had changed. "I have a problem," Liemo said frankly. "Problem? Mathematical?" Teacher Fang glanced at him with shining eyes. Liemo shook his head. "No, it's biological." Hearing that Liemo was going to ask a difficult question about biology, Teacher Fang was a little surprised, but finally said lightly, "Ask. I can only tell stories." Liemo told the story of Lanzichan suffering from owls, and that he had speculated the existence of biological toxins in the process of studying owls, but found nothing in the experiment. "You are a rare good boy." Teacher Fang listened to his story and nodded. "But I haven't studied biology. I can only tell stories." "I'll tell you a story." Liemo came here just to listen to his story and nodded quickly. Teacher Fang did not tell the story immediately, but picked up a torn old paper from the side and folded it up. Xia King, who was standing next to him, was about to ask a question, but Liemo shook his head and stopped her. Teacher Fang folded the old paper left and right, then split it in two, and finally folded it into a strange shape. Then he carefully put it in a drawer. After finishing, he picked up another old paper and said as he folded it, "When I was young, I loved fishing. Every weekend, I would invite my fishing friends to go fishing by the river. You haven't fished before, so you don't know that fishing is actually addictive. At that time, there were only two things that could make me get up from the warm bed at 3 a.m. That is, reading and fishing." As he said that, Teacher Fang put down the origami in his hand, and a smile of reminiscence appeared on his face. This was the first time Liemo saw such a warm smile on his face. "One weekend at 3 a.m., I slipped out again and rode my bike to the river outside the city. There were already quite a few anglers gathered there. The fun of fishing lies in the fishing, rather than the fish. A gray-haired old man was also among the anglers, standing out. Every time we have an activity, we have a competition to see who catches the most fish. The person who catches the most fish can choose someone else's fishing gear to take away. I had long been envious of a fellow angler's German fishing rod, but unfortunately I missed the opportunity again and again. Fishing requires both technique and luck. I think I have good technique. I had pretty good luck at the beginning and quickly caught two big crucian carp. But as time went on, fewer and fewer fish were caught. In the end, the champion was the gray-haired old man. If I have countless shortcomings, then my only advantage is that I'm studious. I quietly came to the old man and asked him for advice. The old man told me that there are different types of fish in each river. If you want to catch more fish, you need to choose different hooks. For example, the Iseni hook is suitable for bottom fishing, the Marusari hook is suitable for small fishing, the Shinkanto hook is suitable for large fishing, and the sleeve hook is suitable for sensitive fishing. After saying that, Teacher Fang picked up the origami again and started folding it. Chapter 132 Power Transformation. On the way back, sitting in the car, Liemo repeatedly recalled the meaning of the fishing story told by Teacher Fang. What do fishing hooks and fish symbolize? Different species of fish require different types of fishing hooks. Is it that the equipment in the laboratory is not suitable for discovering this unknown biological toxin? Liemo felt that he was getting closer and closer to the truth. The development of modern medicine is actually the history of the development of medical equipment. For example, the first person to discover bacteria was not a doctor, but an old worker who was a doorman. His name was Liu Wenhoek, and he was a local expert in making microscopes. He loved grinding lenses, and often put good lenses on metal racks to make various microscopes. Some of the microscopes he made could magnify 150 times, and some could magnify more than 270 times. Once he accidentally put a drop of ordinary rainwater under a microscope, and from then on he opened up a magical world. So what kind of experimental equipment is needed to discover biological toxins? At this time, he thought of the cryophoton microscope he won from the system lottery. Although he did not check its instructions at the time, the alien technology product must have its outstanding features. That's it. Liemo shouted excitedly. What's wrong? Zaya King asked, and the driver in the front row also turned his head. Liemo smiled. Sorry, I'm too excited. Zaya King frowned. She couldn't understand this boss more and more. Sometimes he was like a vigorous and resolute company president, and sometimes he was like a naughty child. Back in the biological laboratory, Liemo ignored Zaya King's objection and drove her to the conference room to sleep. Zaya King complained that he was too unkind to women. He carefully closed the curtains of the office. He called in his heart, Peroj. The pink learning machine appeared, and Liemo was already in the grey fog. He opened his backpack and found that the cryophoton microscope was lying quietly inside. Click to extract a strange instrument emitting a white metallic luster appeared in front of him. Is this a microscope? Why is there no lens? Liemo was puzzled. Click to view instruction system prompt. Cryophoton microscope, a medical device produced by Soup Civilization, works by emitting photons with continuous membranes. When photons pass through the frozen surface of the observed object, they will be quantum entangled with the observed object. According to the quantum waves generated by quantum entanglement, the structure and molecular composition of the observed object can be determined. Notes. 1. The maximum magnification of the cryophoton microscope is 13 million times. 2. The cryophoton microscope requires 500,000 kilowatts of power. The principle of the photon microscope involves quantum waves. Liemo did not fully understand it, but he knew that this microscope was his only hope. But it actually requires 500,000 kilowatts of power, which is equivalent to the power consumption of a small factory. The current biological laboratory obviously does not meet this requirement. Liemo hesitated for a moment, took out the red mobile phone, and dialed a number. The call was quickly connected. Hello, brother, hey, are you resting? He asked proactively, because it was already past 12 o'clock in the evening. No, I'm in the ambulance transporting the sample, and it is expected to arrive tomorrow morning. Brother Hay replied. Fortunately, I haven't rested yet. Liemo has always felt embarrassed for disturbing him once at 2 o'clock in the morning last time. Liemo said, that's just right. I need the biological laboratory to provide 500,000 kilowatts of power. The other side was silent for a moment. Point, please say it again. I didn't hear it clearly just now. Jeff felt that his request was too weird. It was understandable that the biological laboratory needed advanced equipment and high definition images, but it was too unexpected to need 500,000 kilowatts of power. Liemo said word by word, the power consumption of the biological laboratory needs to be converted to 500,000 kilowatts. This time Jeff heard it clearly, and he knew that the young 912 member was not joking. I will arrange for someone to convert it tomorrow morning. The estimated time is unknown. That's it. He hung up the phone. This Jeff. Liemo shook his head. He knew that his request was too difficult even for Jeff. He turned on the computer and continued to learn about biopharmaceuticals. The more he learned, the more he felt that modern pharmaceuticals were a magical industry. Pharmaceutical companies need to screen countless compounds and then make comparison tests and finally select suitable drugs. Morning when the 5 researchers jointly came to the biological laboratory, ready to welcome their hard day. But they saw their boss standing at the door, emitting a white glow, and told them in a pleasant voice, there is no need to conduct experiments today, and they can go back to rest. The 5 researchers looked at each other, thinking that they had heard it wrong. When they confirmed that Liemo had indeed said so, they all cheered. The careful Zhao asked Liemo why the experiment was suspended, but he sent him away because the laboratory needed to be renovated. After dealing with these researchers, Liemo returned to the office and looked at the time. It was 8:30. Why hasn't Brother Hay come yet? Just as he began to get anxious, the red mobile phone rang. The goods have been delivered. Go downstairs to receive them. Brother Hay's voice came from the phone. Liemo called Xiaoqing and went downstairs together. They were shocked by the scene in front of them. An ambulance was in the front, followed by dozens of various vehicles of the power company, including a small truck carrying a transformer. Brother Hay was leaning in front of the ambulance. When he saw Liemo coming forward, his face was expressionless, and he just handed over a box containing a white sample. This is the second batch of samples. Then he pointed to the vehicle behind him and said, the power transformation will begin immediately, and is expected to be completed within 24 hours. Thank you. Liemo thanked sincerely. He knew that his request was indeed excessive. Unexpectedly, Brother Hay completed it so quickly. Brother Hay waved his hand. I still have to collect the third batch of samples. The transformation work here will be handed over to him. As he said this, he waved to the distance, and a little fat man in a blue uniform ran over. The transformation work will be handed over to him. You can ask him if you have any requirements. Brother Hay got on the ambulance after speaking. Yura. The little fat man trotted all the way over and showed a smile from a distance. Liemo extended his hand to the little fat man. Hello, I'm Researcher Lee here. Thank you for your hard work. The little fat man was born with a smile on his face, and he also extended his hand. It's not hard. I'm the chief engineer of the power company. You can just call me Xiao Chen. Liemo said. It turns out to be Chief Engineer Chen. Nice to meet you. Let's get started. I guess you also need to do a field survey. In the laboratory, several engineers carefully surveyed the surrounding building structures and power distribution data, and then drew a manual drawing and handed it to the little fat man Chen. Chen spread the drawing on the table and calculated it with a pen. Then he came to Liemo and asked softly, is it enough to provide a power supply of 500,000 kilowatts? Liemo thought for a while and said, the power supply must be 100% uninterrupted. He didn't know what would happen if the power was interrupted during the use of the electron cryolite microscope. Chapter 133 Exchange Team. After looking at the busy power construction team, Liemo returned to the office with confidence. He had confidence in the people that Brother Hay had found. Boss, what are all those people doing outside? Xiaoqing asked when she saw the big show outside. Liemo smiled and said, I have a small idea that needs to be verified. Is it really just a small idea? There were more than 10 cars downstairs, and there was also a power engineering team that was doing a large construction. Xiaoqing felt that she was increasingly unable to see through the man in front of her. Beep, beep, beep. As soon as he turned on the computer, Liemo's cell phone rang. It was Professor Wu. Hello, teacher. Hello. Liemo answered the phone. He was a little surprised by Professor Wu's call. He hadn't seen Professor Wu for a long time, since they met last time after the award ceremony. Liemo, are you free now? Professor Wu also felt depressed on the phone. He was obviously a teacher, but he had to ask students if they were free. Having an excellent student is also a kind of trouble. Liemo saw the busy workers outside through the glass window and said, I have one day off today. What do you want to do? Construction takes a whole day, and it is useless to stay in the laboratory to look at these data. Although he is a graduate student, Professor Wu did not assign any tasks to himself. Liemo felt that he was too unqualified as a student. That's perfect. There is an exchange team from country M. They are now in the first conference room of the school. You go there immediately. Professor Wu was immediately excited when he heard that Liemo was free. The Ivy League universities in Country M organized a team of geniuses, whose members are all outstanding college students of the new generation of Country M. This team exchanges with well-known universities in various countries. They call it an exchange, but in fact they are just messing up. First-class universities such as Tokyo University, Hong Kong University, Peking University, and Tsinghua University have all been humiliated by them. Now they are holding an exchange meeting with the student representatives we elected in the conference room of Vyanda University. Seeing that the situation is not good, the school leaders remembered that there is still a great god in the Department of Mathematics who has not arrived. This time they hurriedly notified Professor Wu. Let him arrange for Liemo to appear. Exchange team. Liemo couldn't figure out why he should participate in the exchange. Professor Wu's vicious voice came from the phone. Yes, you should have a good exchange, and it would be best if they would never forget it. Liemo immediately understood what Professor Wu meant, that is, to let him teach those geniuses who came over. Okay, I'll be there right away. Liemo agreed immediately. He had received a lot of favors from Yanda University on weekdays, and now it was time to repay the favor. After hanging up the phone, Liemo walked out of the conference room and said to Engineer Chen, who was directing, "I'm sorry to bother you here. I have something to go out now. Everything must be done according to the requirements in advance. Don't worry, I'm watching here, and this time we have a first-class construction team, and we guarantee that the task will be completed." The fat Engineer Chen agreed with a smile. In just 20 minutes, Liemo arrived at Yanda University. Exchanges are very common between schools, and most of them are in a friendly atmosphere to discuss academic issues. But there are also more malicious exchanges, and the lower level party will be completely humiliated. With the rise of the reputation of domestic universities, such things have increased year by year in recent years. It has also become a means for some old universities to crack down on new forces. Haha, I didn't expect that the students of the highest institution of learning in China would only have this level. I'm so disappointed. It doesn't live up to its reputation. It doesn't live up to its reputation. Liemo was about to push open the door of the conference room when he heard a weird voice coming from inside. He pushed the door with both hands, and the two glass doors opened. At the rectangular conference table sat students from Country M and Yanda respectively. The person who just spoke was a young man with yellow hair. When he saw Liemo suddenly break in, his mouth opened like a duck egg. Next to the conference table sat the leader of the Ivy League and the leader of Yanda. The leader of Yanda had a depressed expression on his face. When he saw Liemo coming, he immediately stood up excitedly, as if he had met a savior. The leader of the Ivy League asked, "Who are you? Don't you know we are communicating?" Liemo ignored him, strode into the conference room, came to the head of the conference table, and slowly sat down. "Keep talking," he said to the yellow-haired man who just spoke. "Who are you?" The members of the Ivy League of Country M asked one after another. Liemo smiled slightly and did not explain his identity. "My great Liemo, the school sent Liemo here." At this time, a student from Yanda recognized his identity. Although Liemo did not attend classes often, as a great Yanda, his photo was often published in the school magazine. "It's really Liemo. This is going to be interesting. Let's see how these American guys can still be arrogant." The 6 Yanda members present changed their previous sluggish state and became energetic. "Liemo?" The Ivy League students on the opposite side did not know who Liemo was, but seeing that the Yanda students on the opposite side, who had almost completely collapsed just now, had now recovered, they knew that this inconspicuous latecomer must be extraordinary. A female student in the Ivy League team questioned, "According to the rules, each team can only have 6 members, and your team seems to have one more person." Liemo sat upright and ignored her. "I quit." A member of the Yanda team took the initiative to stand up and walk to the next door of the conference room. "Now we can start." Liemo finally spoke, and he scanned the foreign faces with his eyes. "Please pay attention to your attitude, students from your school. The score is now 10:2. If we score another point, we can win this exchange competition." The Ivy League leader teacher next to him said. "Now let's start the next question. Please note that this competition adopts a quick answer method. You cannot use paper and pen to calculate. You will get 1 point for a correct answer and 2 points for a wrong answer." The referee teacher said. "There are 800 people on a cruise ship. A tourist has a certain infectious disease 12 hours later. 3 people will get sick. Since this infectious disease has no early symptoms, the infected person cannot be isolated in time. The helicopter will deliver the vaccine in 60 to 72 hours. Try to estimate the number of people who will be infected with this infectious disease when the vaccine is delivered." Now let's start the quick answer. 1 person can infect 2 people within 12 hours 24 hours. 6 people infected, a total of 9 people 36 hours. 27 people 48 hours. 81 people 60 hours. 243 people 72 hours. 729 people. Liemo quickly calculated in his mind and got the answer in less than 5 seconds. He raised his hand and said, the number of people suffering from this infectious disease when the vaccine was delivered was between 247 and 729. Too fast. It can't be correct. An Ivy League member thought to himself. Too fast. The master is the master. A Yanda member thought to himself. Everyone present was waiting for the referee's announcement. The referee looked at the answer in his hand and said, completely correct. Yanda team adds 1 point. The score between the two sides is now 10:3. Too powerful. The Ivy League team knew that they had met their opponents. Chapter 134 Surrender. The next question is, a small ball with a mass of M slides down from the vertex of a smooth semi-cylinder with a radius of r and a mass of n. The semi-cylinder is in smooth contact with the ground and the horizontal plane. Question. What is the shape of the trajectory of the ball relative to the ground in the OSI coordinate system during the period of time when it has not left the cylindrical surface during the sliding process? Start answering now. This physics question is not difficult, but it does test your brain power without using paper and pen to calculate. Liemo calculated in his mind that the trajectory of the ball is m plus m caret x caret 2 slash m caret 2 asterisk r caret 2 plus y caret 2 slash r caret 2 point. He slowly raised his hand and answered, the shape of the trajectory of the ball is an ellipse. The Ivy League student stared at the referee. Will he answer correctly? The Yan University student stared at Liemo. The master is the master, and he answered another question correctly. The referee glanced at the answer on the test paper and said, the answer is correct, and the Yan University team will get 1 point. The score between the two sides is now 10:4 point. Now proceed to the next question. Correct answer. Correct answer. The referee showed an incredible expression. The answer is correct. Congratulations to Yanda for getting another point. The score between the two sides is now 10-10. The last question. Please listen to the question. Which of the following is a living thing? A. Cooked fish. B. Ultraman. C. Lorem and D. An apple. It's too easy. This is simply a 3-point question. Even elementary school students can do it. The same thought flashed through the minds of all the students present. I choose D. Apples. Plants are also living things. The blonde Ivy League member who had just spoken rudely raised his hand impatiently. At the same time, he looked at Liemo proudly. The victory belongs to us. Wrong answer. Ivy League will deduct 1 point. In the end, Yanda team defeated Ivy League team 10:9 point. The referee said expressionlessly, how could this be? Isn't apple the only living thing among these options? The blonde Ivy League member found it difficult to accept this result and questioned loudly. Liemo stood up and said, the answer to this question is B. Ultraman. Apple is the fruit of a plant, not a living thing. You should study junior high school biology carefully. He had to admire the rich connotations of this seemingly clever question. This question examines the basic definition of a living thing. Ultraman seems to be an absurd answer, but since the question assumes the existence of Ultraman, he is a hypothetical existence. Ultraman is a living thing at the same level as humans. Isn't science about bold imagination? How could this be? How could this be? The blonde Ivy League member still couldn't accept such a result, and muttered to himself. At this time, the leader of the Ivy League stood up, and said with a sullen face, congratulations to Yanda for winning this exchange competition. We are waiting for your arrival in country M. As he said that, he looked at Liemo carefully, as if he wanted to remember this young man who helped Yanda win the victory with his own strength. Isn't it enough to embarrass us? Let's go. As he said that, he left angrily without even looking at the depressed Ivy League members. In the conference room, the students from Yanda University who had won the victory surrounded Liemo and cheered. The great god is extraordinary. Great, my brother. These students were really enthusiastic. Liemo, who finally escaped the encirclement, took out his mobile phone and called Professor Wu. Hello, teacher. The mission is successfully completed. Professor Wu on the other side of the phone seemed to have known the result of the exchange competition for a long time and said happily, I knew you could do it. What are you busy with recently? Why didn't you come to class? Do you know that you still have research projects to do this semester? As a teacher, Professor Wu didn't know the whereabouts of his students. He also felt it was absurd, but he couldn't get angry. Who said that his students were too genius? Liemo thought for a while and replied, I'm doing a biological experiment. After I finish it, I will do a research project in mathematics. Professor Wu, okay. After hanging up the phone, he patted his head. Why did this kid start studying biology? Could it be that mathematics can no longer satisfy his appetite? Liemo left the campus and got on the car of the security bureau. Xiaoqing was still angry because Liemo didn't let her enter the campus just now. Seeing that he had already got in the car, she didn't say a word. Go back to the biological laboratory, Liemo said to the driver. The driver turned around and asked Xiaoqing's opinion with his eyes. After all, Xiaoqing was his direct superior. Listen to him, Xiaoqing said unhappily. Are you still angry? Liemo noticed that the assistant was in a bad mood. Just now I didn't let you enter the campus to avoid unnecessary trouble. I have a beautiful woman around me all day. Isn't it very eye-catching? Liemo admired his emotional intelligence more and more. In order to coax a girl, he could say such words. This was unimaginable before. I'm ignoring you. You've learned to be smooth talking. Although Xiaoqing still showed anger, there was a little more smile on her face. How did it go? The mood of a girl, the weather in March. Liemo nodded and said, perfectly completed. It was already evening when the car arrived at the biological experiment building. Liemo entered the biological experiment and found that the workers of the power construction team were doing the finishing work. Come back, the project will be completed in half an hour. The fat man Chen Gong was directing the workers to install the equipment. When he saw Liemo coming back, he immediately came forward to greet him. Liemo looked at the cable as thick as his arm and said, very good. When it is finished, you still need to test the stability. Chen Gong nodded and said, of course, we will conduct a 2-hour pressure test to ensure the stability of the current. After giving instructions, Liemo returned to the office and waited for the installation to be completed. Boss, don't you need to eat? Xiaoqing asked, holding her stomach. Oh no, since taking the energy coffee, I have lost the feeling of hunger, and Xiaoqing has discovered it several times. Liemo hurriedly said, I'm a little hungry, but now I have to keep an eye on it. Can you bring me a piece of bread? Xiaoqing nodded, but she was very puzzled. Boss seems to not need to eat all day. It's so strange. Thinking of this, she picked up her small bag and went downstairs to eat. It seems that I have to set an alarm for 3 meals in the future. If someone notices something unusual, it will be bad. Liemo took out his mobile phone and set the alarms at 7 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 18 o'clock. In this way, every time the alarm reminds him, he can pretend to need to eat. Yanda, the base of the Ivy League exchange team of Country M. The yellow-haired member gently pushed open the door of the team leader. Why are you here? Thanks to you, my bonus this year has been lost. The team leader was holding the materials and saw him coming and said unhappily. The yellow-haired man whispered, I have already found out the true identity of the Yanda student who scored 7 points in a row. Hearing him say this, the team leader put down the materials in his hand. He was also very interested in the magical boy, although that boy ruined their trip to Yanda. Seeing that his words had an effect, the yellow-haired man leaned in and said, he is Liemo, the Liemo who solved 2 world-class problems in a row and discovered Demo Crossing. It turned out to be him. The team leader had heard of this name when he was in Country M. Liemo is known as the leader of the new generation in the world, although he is very low-key, so low-key that he has hardly ever visited abroad. Even after discovering Demo Crossing, he has never been interviewed by foreign media. We are not wrong to lose to him. The team leader sighed and said, Chapter 135 Equipment Operation. When Liemo had only half of the bread in his hand left, the fat man Chen knocked on the door of the office. The equipment has been installed and has undergone a 2-hour stress test. It is running smoothly. The energy problem has been solved and the cryolite microscope can be used immediately. Liemo said happily, thank you. Watching the power construction team leave, Liemo turned back and said to Xiaoqing, enable all your security equipment. From now on, no one can enter this biological laboratory without my order. Xiaoqing was surprised by his seriousness, but still replied, yes, boss. She knew that this scientific research madman was going to start a secret experiment. She enabled the signal blocker, ultraviolet jammer, etc. installed in the laboratory, and even set up an infrared alarm at the door. At the same time, two colleagues were arranged to guard the door of the laboratory. Late at night, Liemo, who had completed all the arrangements, called for Pajero in his heart. The grey fog was filled, and he opened the warehouse and dragged out the cryophoton microscope. A microscope with a white metallic luster appeared in front of him. After plugging in the power supply, a blue light gradually emerged on the surface of the microscope, and two grooves appeared silently on the top. This is the place to place biological samples, Liemo guessed in his heart. He carefully put the neuron cell tissue samples of Al's patients and normal people into it. A red light flashed on the surface of the microscope, and the grooves disappeared silently. The top was smooth and there was no trace. Beep, beep. A regular sound came from the inside of the microscope, and the superpower supply next to it made a buzzing sound. Liemo turned on the power meter, which showed that the current power was 400,000 kilowatts. He knew that the microscope had started running. But how can I get the result data? The surface of the microscope was smooth and there was no place to spy. Liemo regretted not using a question opportunity to ask the big-headed Pajero man how to use this strange machine. Duty room of the District Power Bureau. On the large screen of the real-time power monitor, a steady curve suddenly rose straight up. 100,000 kilowatts, 200,000 kilowatts, and 400,000 kilowatts. The staff on duty saw this abnormal phenomenon and immediately called the maintenance department's duty phone. The power consumption in Area C is abnormal. Is someone stealing electricity for mining? Under normal circumstances, the power consumption in each area will fluctuate slightly. Once there is a large-scale power increase, it means that there are users using ultra-high power electrical appliances. They also often encounter people who take risks to steal electricity for mining. Which transformer? The maintenance department staff asked immediately. Every second wasted means that one more power source is lost. The staff on duty glanced at the monitoring screen and said, Transformer no. C12D26 is located in the Hexi Medical College. Someone is stealing electricity in the medical college. This is too much. The maintenance staff put down the phone. Since the rise of mining, many lawless people have taken risks to directly take electricity from the transformer in order to obtain virtual currency. From then on, the maintenance department has assumed the responsibility of a patrol team. In the duty room of the maintenance department, several employees in power uniforms were playing cards. Captain Wang, hurry up and play. Are you afraid that if you lose, your sister-in-law will make you kneel on the washboard when you go home? The middle-aged man called Captain Wang threw out two cards. A pair of twos. You can't afford it. Haha, then I'm leaving. 45,678. He threw out the remaining cards in his hand. Pay money, 1 yuan each. Hurry up. Captain Wang stretched out his hand. At this time, the door was pushed open by someone. Captain Yi. Captain Wang quickly threw down the change in his hand and stood up. Let's go immediately. Someone is stealing electricity from the transformer in the Hexi Medical College. The man shouted. This damn power thief. He can't rest in the middle of the night. A younger power worker muttered in the pickup truck. Captain Wang took out an electric baton from the back row and handed it to him. Take it with you. These people can't be easily dismissed with a few words. The young employee didn't take it and said nonchalantly, aren't they just a few thieves? What's so scary about that? Captain Wang stuffed the electric baton directly into his arms, tightened the buttons of his shirt, and said, last time when Laozan was investigating electricity theft, a woman bit off his finger. Have you forgotten? The young employee hung the electric baton around his waist reluctantly. The pickup truck arrived outside the power room of Hexi Medical College. The young employee got out first, took out the key, and poked the door lock. When was the transformer placed here? He saw a huge transformer placed in the room, making a buzzing sound. Captain Wang also followed in, and was dumbfounded when he saw the transformer. He had never seen this type of transformer before. Are all miners so rich now? The size of this transformer is not cheap at first glance. It is also a huge expense to replace the transformer just for stealing electricity. There are no traces of power thieves nearby. Captain, let's notify the bureau to cut off the power here first. The young man walked around and suggested. Captain Wang shook his head and said, wait a little longer, let me see. This transformer is the latest power equipment. Are the current power thieves so advanced? What are you waiting for? If we wait one more second, we will lose more power. The young man took out his work mobile phone and dialed the duty phone. Hello, we have arrived at the scene and found no trace of the power thieves. Now we need to cut off the power here. Please operate in the system. The duty officer of the Power Bureau was not surprised to receive such an order. In most cases, the power thieves will flee after being discovered. What they need to do is to cut off the power first and then slowly search. So he said, don't hang up, I will cut off the power immediately. Countdown, 10, 9, 8. Suddenly, a strange voice came from the phone. Stop cutting off. Immediately. The duty officer didn't recognize whose voice it was, but he subconsciously stopped the operation. It was Xia King who stopped them from cutting off the power. Although she arranged for people to protect the biological laboratory, she still felt uneasy, so she prepared to inspect all the external equipment. The first to be affected was the superpower supply equipment that had just been modified today. When she saw two power workers preparing to cut off the power, one of them flew over and controlled the young man who was calling. It's still timely. When she heard the countdown on the other side of the phone, she was scared and broke out in a cold sweat. If the power was cut off, what would happen in the laboratory was unimaginable. Captain Wang saw a tall woman holding his subordinate hostage and hurriedly said, let him go quickly. Stealing electricity is a minor crime. Don't hurt anyone. Stealing electricity? Xia King immediately understood why the two power workers were here. She gently pushed the young man over and said, it's a misunderstanding. We didn't steal electricity. No stealing electricity. What is this? The young man felt embarrassed after being easily subdued by a weak woman, and he pointed to the buzzing transformer and asked, isn't this installed by your Power Bureau today? Xia King felt that the young man's words were a bit inexplicable. Installed by the Power Bureau? Captain Wang thought about it, and the young woman's expression didn't seem to be lying. He stopped the young man's impulse again. He took out his mobile phone and dialed a number. Hello, Captain Crossing. Sorry to bother you. Do you have any construction tasks today? The number he dialed was the mobile phone number of the captain of the district construction team. If it was indeed installed by the Power Bureau, they must have known about it. No, we rested all day today. Captain Crossing's sleepy voice came from the phone. Captain Wang's heart was in the air. It seemed that this woman was lying. He was about to hang up the phone and quietly took out the electric baton. But it seems that there is a construction team from the General Administration. It seems to be in Hexi Hospital. They said the task is confidential. Captain Crossing said again. This is right. The people from the General Administration carried out confidential work here and did not notify the District Power Bureau, so the misunderstanding occurred. Captain Wang quickly sorted out the matter. He hung up the phone and said with a smile, it's really a misunderstanding. I wonder who led the team to the construction today. He decided to try again. Xia King frowned and thought for a while and said, it seems to be a little fat man. Smiling. The boss called him Engineer Chen. Little fat man. Smiling. Engineer Chen? Wang Tao thought quickly in his mind. Could it be Chief Engineer Chen? He is a technical expert in the General Administration. It is said that he is now specializing in some confidential tasks. Misunderstanding. All misunderstanding. We will leave now. Sorry for disturbing you. He winked at the confused young man. Liamo didn't know what happened here. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 136 Extracting Toxins. Liamo was staring at the microscope on the test bench that kept making beep, beep sounds. The blue light emitted from the surface of the microscope was sometimes weak and sometimes strong. In the end, he gave up studying this alien microscope. I have used so much electricity, and there will always be a result in the end. Liamo took out all the books in the office. He was going to read the books to accompany the microscope. Beep. The microscope made a long prompt sound, pulling Liemo out of the book. The blue light on the surface of the microscope disappeared, and a lens slowly extended from the top. The lens emitted countless lasers, forming two holographic images. On the left is the patient's neuron cells, and on the right is the neuron cells of a normal person. Liemo understood that the microscope displayed the internal structure of the cell in the form of a holographic image. Is this the internal image of the neuron cell? He tried to touch it with his hand. It feels very real. He felt as if he had touched the neuron cell. This was not a simple holographic image, but a real sense of touch. These images felt slippery to the touch, and the image began to enlarge with a slight pull. The shape of the neuron cell is like a terrifying alien creature, with several protrusions extending from the cell body. It seems that these protrusions are the bridges for transmitting nerve signals, Liemo thought. Then he touched the protrusion with his hand and enlarged it. Several needle bodies appeared in the protrusion. The protrusions of the patient's neuron cells have obviously atrophied, which is why the patient cannot control his muscles. There are several buttons on the edge of the holographic image. Zoom in, compare, analyze, extract, correct. Liemo gently clicked the compare button with his hand. The two holographic images merged into one, and a red mark appeared in the image. Is this the difference between the two biological samples? He gently clicked the zoom in button 100 times, 1000 times, 10,000 times, 100,000 times. The red marker became clearer and clearer, and now its specific shape can be seen. It is a light green high molecular protein. Liemo immediately became excited. This is the kind of biological toxin we are looking for. Click extract. The microscope emitted a red light, and after a few seconds, a tiny pinhole appeared on the top. He picked up the injection needle, inserted it into the needle hole to absorb the biological toxin, and a dark green liquid was absorbed into the needle tube. Checking the scale on the needle tube, it is exactly 0.1 milliliters of toxin sample. After getting the toxin sample, Liemo felt that he had seen the dawn of victory. The next step was to test whether this biological toxin was the root cause of ALS. However, one sample was too little, so he decided to make a few more. Fortunately, the 10 samples sent by Brother Hay were still stored in the constant temperature box. With the previous operation experience, Liemo only needed to repeat the previous steps. Soon, 10 toxin samples were placed in front of him. Beep beep beep, the phone rang. He glanced at the phone, and it was Xiaoqing. Didn't you say not to let her disturb you? But he still answered the call. Hello, Liemo, are you okay? Xiaoqing's anxious voice came from the phone. Liemo replied with a little surprise. No, what's wrong? What's wrong? Didn't you check the time? It's been 3 days. I'm afraid you died in there. Hearing Liemo's nonchalant answer, Xiaoqing was furious. It has been 3 days. Liemo realized that he had been in the laboratory for 3 days. No wonder Xiaoqing outside was anxious. He thought for a while, pretended to be weak and said, I'm fine, just a little hungry. Go buy some food and send it over. Okay, wait for me, Xiaoqing said hurriedly. After hanging up the phone, Liemo put the microscope back into his backpack and then put the 11 biological toxin samples into the incubator. Then he returned to the office and lay on the table pretending to be weak. After a while, Xiaoqing rushed into the office with food. Boss, the food is here, eat it quickly. Liemo struggled to stand up from the chair, took the chocolate she handed over, and wolfed it. Slow down, slow down. Xiaoqing looked at his weak appearance and felt very distressed. Notify those researchers and return to the laboratory immediately. There is a task, Liemo said while eating. Now it is necessary to conduct biological live experiments to confirm whether the extracted samples are biological toxins. This workaholic. Xiaoqing shook her head and picked up the phone to notify one by one. Half an hour later, 5 researchers arrived at the laboratory. For these experimental geeks, even on vacation, they would at most spend time in the library, so they would show up so quickly after receiving the call. In front of them, Liemo opened the incubator, pointed to the 11 samples inside and said, now the experiment has entered the next stage, the biological living experiment. Xiaofang looked at the samples in the incubator and said puzzledly, is this the biological toxin? Liemo nodded. Xiaofang asked again, did you extract it? Liemo nodded again. Zhao Fang's face changed drastically. This is impossible. You extracted the biological toxin in just 3 days. It takes at least several months or even years for an extract to be discovered and extracted. It's incredible. Biological extraction is a complicated project. Since there are many substances with similar chemical properties in organisms, if you want to extract the required protein, you have to go through very tedious steps. In just 3 days, Liemo not only discovered this biological toxin, but also extracted it. This made these researchers unbelievable. I believe you, boss. Wang Qian raised her hand and said, a great scientist who can discover MO crossing, what else can't he do? Liemo said with a straight face, now is not the time to discuss this issue. Biological in vivo experiments need to be carried out immediately. There are a total of 11 biological toxin samples here. Divide the mice into 3 batches for experiments, and all data must be fully recorded each time. There is no time, and no need to explain to these researchers now. An excellent leader must have the determination to kill and make decisions. Sure enough, the 5 researchers quickly accepted the fact that the biological toxin had been extracted and prepared to start biological in vivo experiments. No one is allowed to choose the little grey dot when selecting the little white mice, Wang Qian said with puffed lips. Zhang Feng, wearing gloves, grabbed the strongest white mouse with biological forceps and said, your little grey dot has survived 4 cycles. If it is not used for experiments, it will have to be recycled. Wang Qian stroked the little white mouse with a grey spot on its head and said, anyway, you are not allowed to use it for experiments. Okay, everyone place the selected white mice and prepare for sample injection. Looking at this group of researchers, Liemo shook his head helplessly. Chapter 137 Dacian Pharmaceutical. Experimental log. On the first day, mice number 1, 2, and 3 were normal in physiology, posture, and stress response. On the second day, mice number 1, 2, and 3 were normal in physiology, posture, and stress response. On the third day, mice number 1 and 2 were normal in physiology, while mice number 3 had decreased appetite and decreased mobility. On the fourth day, mice number 1 was normal in physiology, while mice number 2 and 3 had decreased appetite and decreased mobility. On the fifth day, mice number 1, 2, and 3 had decreased appetite and decreased mobility. On the sixth day, mice number 1, 2, and 3 had atrophy of their forelimbs and severe decrease in mobility. On the 10th day, mice number 1, 2, and 3 had atrophy of all their limbs and lost their ability to eat. The performance of the first group of mice excited everyone, and the symptoms they showed were exactly the same as those of owls. Liemo decided to perform live dissections immediately and conduct experiments on the second group of mice. Live dissections are usually performed by boys because they are more rational. Unexpectedly, the only girl in charge of dissection in this biological laboratory was Wang Qian. She showed a sympathetic expression while skillfully fixing the little white mouse on the dissection table. Little white mouse, you are making a contribution to mankind, she kept muttering. Then the scalpel gently cut. This girl is so amazing. Liemo was horrified watching from the side. Wang Qian's skillful technique showed that she had handled many animals. Zhao Fang was responsible for observing the living samples. He kept adjusting the parameters of the electron microscope according to the data displayed on the computer. An hour later, boss, atrophied motor neurons were found in the body of the little white mouse. Zhao Fang walked into Liemo's office excitedly with a microscopic data table. Sure enough, this biological toxin is the culprit of owls. Liemo can now be completely sure. In order to be completely sure, he asked the researchers to conduct live experiments on the second and third groups of white mice in the next few days. As a result, these little white mice all showed symptoms of owls without exception. After dissection, it was found that their motor neuron cells were atrophied. The next step is to find an antidote. Liemo had already figured out the search for the antidote. The essence of biological toxins is a toxic protein containing a variety of enzymes. The venom of venomous snakes is also a toxic protein containing a variety of enzymes. The immune system of animals is a gift from God. After animals are bitten by venomous snakes, their own immune systems will produce high-priced anti-venom serum. Why doesn't the human body produce antibodies to Al's biological toxins? That's because this biological toxin is produced by the human body itself, and the human immune system will habitually ignore this harmful toxin. Just like cancer cells, they are part of the human body, and the immune system naturally cannot recognize them. Liemo felt that he had completely figured out the pathogenic principle of Al's. The next step is to find and extract Al's toxin antibodies. The animal generally used to produce antibodies is the horse, because the horse is larger in size. If the horse is injected with a small amount of biological toxins multiple times, it will produce a certain amount of antibodies. But how to find enough horses? He thought of Brother Hay again. So he picked up the red mobile phone and called Brother Hay. "Hello, Brother Hay, I need your help with something," Liemo said straightforwardly. He knew that Brother Hay was a man of vigorous and resolute style. Brother Hay's voice came from the phone. "I'm still helping you find biological samples of Al's patients. Tell me if you have anything to say." "The biological samples of patients are no longer needed. We need a sufficient number of immune horses now." Liemo felt bad for bothering Brother Hay again and again. Brother Hay on the other side of the phone was stunned. He asked in confusion, "What is an immune horse?" Liemo explained, "Immune horses are horses used to make immune antibody serum." He thought for a while and said, "It is a horse used by pharmaceutical companies to make snake venom serum." Brother Hay immediately understood the horse used to make snake venom serum. He replied, "I will contact you right away. Wait for the news." After hanging up the phone, Liemo came to the biological laboratory. He said to the researchers, "Everyone, sort out all the experimental data, and then you can go home. Remember the principle of confidentiality. I'm going on a business trip tomorrow. Your task is to observe the status of the mice and record it. The tasks of these laboratory researchers have been completed, and the subsequent tasks require the cooperation of the pharmaceutical factory." Beep beep, the red cell phone was ringing. Liemo answered the call. "Tomorrow at 8 o'clock, Dacian Pharmaceutical Factory in the suburbs of Beijing. I've made an appointment with their boss for you," Brother Hay said on the phone. "Thank you." Beep beep. The phone was hung up. After all the researchers left the biological laboratory, Liemo asked King to start the protective measures. Then he used the alien cryolite microscope to produce several biological toxins. 8 o'clock in the morning, Dacian Pharmaceutical Factory in the suburbs of Beijing. Liemo followed Brother Hay, and King beside him was carrying 2 large boxes. "Secretary Hay, welcome." As soon as he stepped into the general manager's office, a middle-aged man with a scholarly look came up to greet him. He said enthusiastically, "I'll ask the secretary to make tea." Brother Hay waved his hand and said, "No, let me introduce you first. This is Mr. Yi of Dacian Pharmaceutical. Mr. Yi graduated from the Department of Biology of Yan University. This young man is Researcher Li, currently studying at Yan University." When Mr. Yi heard that Liemo was studying at Yan University, the smile on his face became a little thicker. "Alumni, welcome." The two shook hands enthusiastically. "How can you help me?" Mr. Yi asked as he asked them to sit down. Liemo did not speak, but signaled King with his eyes. King opened a suitcase, which contained an anti-eavesdropping device. She turned on the power of the anti-eavesdropping device. Seeing the indicator light on it glow green, he nodded. Mr. Yi looked at the strange instrument in the box, and did not show the slightest surprise, because he had been notified to fully cooperate with this mysterious visitor. But he did not expect that this mysterious visitor was so young and an alumnus of Yanda. Liemo confirmed that the anti-eavesdropping device was working properly, and then he said, "I came here this time to use your company's equipment to produce an immune antibody for multi-enzyme toxic proteins." "Isn't multi-enzyme toxic protein snake venom?" Mr. Yi thought to himself. Now he understood the purpose of these people's visit, because Dacian Pharmaceutical has the most advanced snake venom antibody production process in the country. Mr. Yi nodded and said, "That's no problem. Our company's snake venom antibody production equipment is the most advanced in the country and even the world." "Then I'll have to trouble you, Mr. Yi. This mission is a confidential one. I hope you will choose some reliable candidates to complete it," Liemo reminded. Chapter 138, Serum Preparation. These are the special horses we specially bred for making anti-venom serum. A man in a white coat with grey hair led Liemo to visit the entire process of making antibodies. The name of the white coat is Zhang Daxiang. Mr. Yi introduced that Zhang Daxiang has been in Dacian pharmaceutical factory all his life. He is a business backbone and is extremely loyal. Compared with ordinary horses, this kind of horse has the advantages of high tolerance to toxins and fast antibody production. Zhang Daxiang introduced with some pride. Liemo observed carefully that these horses are much taller than normal horses, but their ears are much shorter. They lowered their heads and ate feed in the stable, looking extremely docile. It seems that there is a reason why Dacian Pharmaceutical can become the largest anti-venom serum production base in the country. The next process is to visit the anti-venom serum production equipment. In the pharmaceutical workshop on the second floor, Liemo looked through the glass window in the corridor and saw that the workers inside were wearing full sets of protective clothing, and the pharmaceutical equipment was spotless. He nodded with satisfaction. The series determined success or failure. It seems that Brother Hay spent a lot of time choosing this pharmaceutical factory. Zhang Daxiang introduced. We use pepsin digestion, octanoic acid precipitation separation, and ion chromatography purification to produce antivenom with a purity of more than 95%. Other domestic manufacturers use old-fashioned technology, and the purity of the antivenom produced is generally only 70%-80%. Zhang Daxiang is very proud of their production technology. The bookshelves on the wall of the chief process engineer's office are full of chemical books. Some books look old, and some books are the latest foreign academic journals. On the desk is a bronze bull with clear muscle lines, full of strength and lively posture. A shabby old bamboo chair was placed in front of the desk. Seeing that Liemo noticed the chair, Zhang Daxiang explained embarrassedly, "This is a reward from the factory when the first batch of snake venom serum was successfully produced. I'm used to it, and I'm not used to sitting on those sofas." Looking at his simple face, Liemo couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Maybe this is the simple style of the older generation. I wonder what kind of anti-venom serum you want to make. Zhang Daxiang got up and poured water for them. Liemo opened the thermostat he carried with him and carefully took out a dark green test tube. He said, "There is a biological toxin in it, and the chemical structure is similar to snake venom. I need you to help make its active antibodies." Zhang Daxiang put on protective gloves, took the test tube, shook it gently, and asked, "Isn't this the venom of a venomous snake?" He has been immersed in this industry for decades and has never seen dark green venom. Liemo nodded and said, "It is indeed not venomous snake venom, but it is very similar to venomous snake venom." "What is the chemical structure?" Zhang Daxiang asked. Liemo replied, "This needs to be kept secret for the time being. Just treat it as a rare snake venom." Liemo knew that he must not make the same mistake as in the marketing paper. He would not disclose any information to the outside world until he fully understood the properties of the venom and the antibodies. Zhang Daxiang asked again, "Who is the target of the antibody vaccination?" Liemo understood what he meant. Different animals require different purity of antibodies, and the human body requires the highest purity. The higher the purity, the better, he replied. Zhang Daxiang nodded and said, "If we want to achieve a purity of more than 90%, our factory needs to open a separate production line. This is why drugs for rare diseases on the market are so expensive. Not counting the cost of scientific research, sometimes a separate production line is needed to produce drugs with sales of only tens of thousands of bottles." Liemo said, "Don't worry about the cost issue. We must make it as quickly as possible." Chen Daxiang nodded and said, "I will arrange for the injection of the immune horse. Do you have any suggestions for the initial dose?" The initial dose is the minimum safe value for injecting toxins into the immune horse. If the initial dose is too small, antibodies may not be produced. If the initial dose is too large, it may endanger the life of the immune horse. Liemo thought for a moment and said, 0.01 milligrams. The maximum value cannot exceed this threshold. I'll leave the matter of the antibodies to you. I will stay here until the first batch of active antibodies is completed. If you need anything, you can call me at any time." Liemo explained the matters that need to be paid attention to in detail. He even asked Brother Hay to send a batch of protective clothing with a protection level of 9. Dacian Hotel. 12th floor guest room boss. Everything is normal, Zia King said after the safety check. Lee Mo entered the room with confidence. How long will we stay here? Standing on the balcony, Zia King looked at the green wheat seedlings outside and asked. Lee Mo took out a book. Until the antibodies are completed. The accommodation conditions provided by Dacian are still very good, but after all, it is not as convenient as where he usually lives. What's more, this is still a relatively desolate suburb. Not to mention Zia King, even Lee Mo feels a little uncomfortable. In the following days, Lee Mo went to inspect the progress of the production of active antibodies every day. Fortunately, after the immune horse was injected with a small amount of Al's biological toxin, it did not suffer from limb atrophy and neuronal necrosis. Research Institute Lee, blood analysis has confirmed that the immune horse has produced antibodies. Zhang Daxiang brought the good news with an excited face. Lee Mo was shocked. Then the antibody extraction must be carried out immediately. Zhang Daxiang replied, I have arranged for someone to send the immune horse to the laboratory. But what is the name of this antibody? Although he knew that it was a confidential task, Zhang Daxiang, who had been dealing with venom all his life, still wanted to know what they were making. This is a brand new antibody. Lee Mo thought for a while and said, let's call it J antibody. J is the Pinyin initials of Al's, and this name is the most appropriate. J antibody, a good name. Zhang Daxiang chewed it repeatedly and said. Lee Mo said, the production process of the antibody must be kept confidential. Don't reveal anything to irrelevant people. Zhang Daxiang nodded and agreed. On the 10th day of coming to Dacian Pharmaceutical Factory, Lee Mo finally got the coveted antibody. He looked at the 5 antibodies placed in the incubator, and then at Zhang Daxiang's dark circles. He said sincerely, thank you. Sitting in the car, Lee Mo thought to himself, in the future, you will know how much contribution you have made. Go back to Yanda. I hope it's not too late. Daffy called a few days ago and said that Lan Zichen's condition was not very good and one of his arms had completely lost its mobility. Lee Mo knew that the progression of this disease could be fast or slow. Once definite lesions appear in the limbs, the toxins will quickly spread throughout the body. The car was speeding. I hope it's not too late. Chapter 139. Practicing medicine illegally? Beep 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 beep. Just as Lee Mo was rushing to Yanda in a hurry, his red cell phone rang. Hello, Brother Hey, what's the matter? He knew it was Brother Hey calling. Old Wang wants to see you. Brother Hey said in a hurried tone. What does Old Wang want? If it was usual, Lee Mo would definitely agree. But he looked at the life-saving medicine in his hand, hesitated, and said, Brother Hey, I have something urgent now. Can I go earlier? Brother Hay's mechanical voice came from the phone. Old Wang wants to see you. I'm waiting at the turn ahead. That's it. Beep, beep, beep. The phone was hung up. Lee Mo was stunned holding the phone. Brother Hay was waiting at the turn ahead, and he must have known his whereabouts very well. It seems that Old Wang has an urgent matter, perhaps related to the J antibody. Thinking of this, he told the driver of the security bureau, stop at the turn ahead. Soon, the car came to the turn, and a black Hanki was parked not far away. It was Brother Hay's car. Before Lee Mo opened the car door, Brother Hay stepped forward and made a gesture of invitation. Zia King followed Lee Mo and wanted to get on the Hanki car, but was stopped. Brother Hay said expressionlessly, Mr. Wang will only see Lee Mo this time. Miss Zia needs to avoid him. Lee Mo still trusted Mr. Wang, an old generation of scientific researchers in China. He turned around and said to Zia King, you go to Lan Zichen and wait for me first, and explained the antibody to him. Then, under Zia King's worried eyes, he got on the Hanki car. How is Mr. Wang's health recently? In the car, Lee Mo asked Brother Hay, who was concentrating on driving. Brother Hay replied, it's still the same. It will be better when the weather is warmer. As if he was in a hurry, Brother Hay's car came very quickly and arrived at Mr. Wang's farmhouse villa 20 minutes later. The farmhouse villa was still the same as before. The village was quiet, and the sound of mooing of cows came from the distance. Mr. Wang is waiting for you on the second floor. Brother Hay parked the car and said. As soon as Lee Mo stepped onto the second floor, he heard Mr. Wang on the phone. Have you arranged the boat? The call lasted a long time, and he could only wait anxiously. After a long time, Mr. Wang finally ended the call. Liemo hurriedly stepped forward and said, "I wonder what's the matter with Mr. Wang recruiting students? What's the matter? Haha, you don't know it yourself?" Mr. Wang said, not very happy. Liemo didn't understand what he meant. After thinking about it, he realized that he hadn't done anything wrong. He answered carefully, "The students have been busy doing biological experiments recently, and I really don't know." Mr. Wang took a letter and handed it over. "You have been reported by someone." Reported by someone. Liemo took the report letter in confusion and saw that it said real name report of illegal biological experiments in the biological laboratory of Hexi Medical College, and the signature below was blacked out with ink. In the report letter, it was vaguely described that a researcher named Lee conducted unreported biological experiments in the biological laboratory of Hexi Medical College. Illegal biological experiments? Liemo immediately understood the source of this report letter. It was very likely that Liu, who was kicked out of the laboratory by him, was resentful. Thinking of this, Liemo said sincerely, "It is true that the students were not thoughtful enough, but it was also forced by the situation and time was urgent. Not only you, but also Hazy. He is the one who has the greatest responsibility for this matter. Now that various systems are becoming more and more complete, we must never break the rules," Wang Liu said with a serious face. Liemo also realized that he was too careless at the time. He nodded and said, "The student is willing to accept the punishment." Seeing Liemo's sincere attitude, Wang Liu's face eased a lot and said, "The punishment will be issued by the school. I asked you to come here today not for this matter. I ask you, what are you doing in the laboratory?" Liemo replied, "When students were studying biological samples of owls, they found that the culprit of owls was a biological toxin secreted by the human body. So I used the equipment in the laboratory to extract this toxin. I'm afraid it's more than that. What's in the box you brought?" The smile on Wang Liu's face gradually grew. Could it be that Wang Liu already knew everything? Maybe Heijie had already made a report. Liemo thought to himself. He didn't intend to hide this kind of thing from Wang Liu. He opened the incubator, took out 2 reagents, and said, "This dark green liquid is the biological toxin produced by the human body. I extracted it from the body of an owl's patient. This colorless liquid is the active antibody extracted from the immune cow in the Dacian pharmaceutical factory. I call it J-antibody." Wang Liu reached out to take the 2 reagents, his eyes sparkling. "Is this antibody really effective for owls?" Liemo smiled slightly and said, "In the laboratory, the biological toxins in the mice injected with J-antibody were completely neutralized. If it really works for human owls, the significance of your research is extraordinary." Wang Liu stared at the J-antibody in the test tube with deep eyes. There are many owls patients in China, and they can only accept the sky-high drugs from abroad, even if the drugs have no obvious effect. Liemo knew that pharmaceutical factories in developed countries now use patent monopoly to force domestic patients to accept sky-high drugs in order to make huge profits. And domestic patients are like lambs to be slaughtered and can only endure exploitation. "Are you going to give J-antibody directly to Lan Zichen?" Wang Liu changed the subject. "It seems that Mr. Wang really knows everything." Liemo confessed, the purpose of the student's research on owls was to cure Lan Zichen. The J-antibody may not be able to restore his atrophied limbs to their original state, but at least it can prevent his condition from getting worse. The J-antibody can neutralize biological toxins in the human body. As long as the antibody is injected, the human neuron cells will no longer be invaded. Mr. Wang smiled and said, "You can find a good medicine to treat owls in a short period of time. You are worthy of being a genius among the new generation. But, are you thinking too simply?" Mr. Wang didn't seem to agree with him doing this, and Liemo listened attentively. "Let me ask you, what procedures does a drug need to go through before it can be launched on the market?" Mr. Wang asked. Liemo had studied this question before, and he answered, "Preclinical research, preclinical experiments, clinical trial approval, phase 3 clinical trials, new drug marketing approval, clinical monitoring period, phase 4 clinical trials." Wang Liu continued to ask, "How many steps have you completed now?" Liemo realized that he had only extracted the antibodies and completed the preclinical research, but Lan Zichen's condition is already very critical. If the J antibody cannot be injected in time, Als will endanger his life at any time. And we have already tested the drug on mice in the pharmaceutical factory, and all the mice have no obvious side effects. Hearing him say this, Wang Lao frowned again and said seriously, can the situation be urgent and the regulations can be ignored? Can animal experiments replace clinical trials? Not to mention that you have not obtained the approval of the regulatory authorities at all. If you inject him with J antibodies, you are practicing medicine illegally, understand? Wang Lao sighed in his heart. The young people nowadays have not experienced setbacks, which has caused them to only see the glorious road in front of them, but not the hidden arrows behind them. If Liemo did this, and was brought up by someone with ulterior motives, it would be a stain on his life. Elder Wang felt that he could not let this stain ruin this young genius. But Liemo found himself in a dilemma. If he did not inject Lan Zichen with the J antibody, Lan Zichen would die. If he helped Lan Zichen inject the J antibody, he would violate the law. He thought for a long time and said, I'm willing to bear the consequences. When Elder Wang heard him say this, he didn't know whether he was happy or sad. He said slowly, there is another place in the world where the jurisdiction is unclear, which is the high seas. There is a country that does not require drug approval procedures. India. Chapter 140 Injection. High seas and India. Liemo's eyes lit up, and he knew what Wang Lao meant. What happened on a ship floating on the high seas? According to the provisions of the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea on the jurisdiction of ships on the high seas, ships sailing shall only fly the flag of one country, and except for the exceptions expressly provided for in international treaties or this convention, on the high seas shall be subject to the exclusive jurisdiction of that country. The exclusive jurisdiction here means exclusive jurisdiction. Once the convention is accepted, the contracting parties shall give up the jurisdiction of their own criminal laws over ships on the high seas. That is to say, if on the high seas, on a ship flying the Indian flag, even if a dispute occurs, even if it is a Chinese, it is subject to the jurisdiction of Indian law. In India, drugs do not require strict approval for human testing. Many large pharmaceutical companies in developed countries choose India as a place for human drug experiments. After figuring this out, Liemo said excitedly, if we inject Lan Zichen with the J antibody on a ship floating on the high seas and registered in India, we can circumvent all regulations. Old Wang nodded and said, although these are stopgap measures, there is no other good way now. I have arranged the ship, and you can set off tomorrow. Also, you need to compile a copy of the complete information of the J antibody for me. The country needs this original drug, and the subsequent development of this drug should be handed over to the country. Our foundation in the high-end drug market is too weak, and we can only watch those foreign pharmaceutical companies sell a drug for hundreds of thousands of yuan, which is the income of ordinary people for most of their lives. With this drug, we have bargaining chips, although this kind of negotiation is something no one wants to see. Liemo nodded. He studied Al simply for the basketball boy. And in the process of studying the J antibody, all the resources provided by 912 were used. Only by handing over the ownership of the drug to the country can it play the greatest role. Of course, the country will not treat anyone who has made contributions unfairly, and your share of the patent will be fully preserved. Old Wang was very satisfied with his attitude. Nowadays, there are fewer and fewer people who do not covet fame and fortune. The boy in front of him has the style of their older generation of scientific researchers. If it was for fame and fortune, they could have stayed in foreign countries with more abundant scientific research resources instead of returning to their impoverished motherland at that time. A country and a nation need such people. They are the real pillars of society. Now there is a cruise ship flying the Indian flag at the H-port terminal. I will arrange for Brother Hay to take you out to sea. Old Wang has arranged everything. Although he is reluctant to arrange such a thing, he can't bear to see this young man with a bright future carry a lifetime stain. On the high seas, on a cruise ship flying the Indian flag, Lan Zichen sat in a wheelchair, looking at Liemo who came. His excitement was beyond words. He didn't expect that this partner on the basketball court actually developed a treatment for ALS for him. Brother Hay returned to the cab, checked the coordinates, and said, "We are now on the high seas." Liemo directed King to put on full body monitoring equipment for Lanzichan, and then took out a JNT body from the incubator. Although the JNT body has been tested on live animals, it has never been injected into humans. I only have 80% expectations for it. There may be some serious side effects. If you refuse now, it's not too late. Any drug has side effects, so the country has established very strict procedures for drug approval. Liemo knew that Lanzichan would not refuse this only hope, but he still had to fulfill his duty as a doctor's reminder. Sure enough, Lanzichan smiled on his pale face and said, "Even if I will sleep forever after the injection, I'm willing. You don't know how desperate it feels to see your body withering bit by bit every day." Liemo nodded. He was not a person who showed his emotions. Inject. King wore gloves and skillfully injected the JNT body in the syringe into Lanzichan's body. Liemo, King, Brother Hay, their eyes were all fixed on the monitoring screen. 10 minutes later, Lanzichan had no obvious adverse drug reactions. 20 minutes later, Lanzichan had no obvious adverse drug reactions. 30 minutes later, Lanzichan had no obvious adverse drug reactions. 40 minutes later, Lanzichan had no obvious adverse drug reactions. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. The body's adverse stress response to drugs generally occurs in the first 40 minutes of drug injection. It seems that JNT body has no serious side effects on the human body. According to the data obtained in the experiment, the onset time of JNT body is between 24 hours and 48 hours. Liemo asked Brother Hay to bring a fishing rod. He was going to fish on the yacht. Seeing this, King also joined in the fun. Fishing requires skills, but also luck. The words of the inspiration teacher Fang were too accurate. Liemo took the fishing rod and saw King catch a multi-scaled bream in a short while, and then a brown basket fish after a while. His own fishing rod did not move at all. The same hook, the same bait. Why is the difference so big? Maybe it was the placebo effect. Lanzichan felt much better after being injected with JNT body. He also came to the bow wearing a monitor and sitting in a wheelchair. "If I'm lucky enough to survive this time, I will definitely repay you in this life," he said to Liemo, who was electrofishing. Liemo pulled up the motionless fishing rod, replaced the bait with a new one, and said with a smile, "How do you report? Will you pledge your love to me? I saved you, just for the scientific research mission. Don't think too much." A gust of sea breeze blew, and waves appeared on the sea, which was very beautiful. Seeing that he did not accept the gratitude, Lanzichan could only say silently in his heart, having such a confidant, "I have no regrets in this life." 24 hours later, Lanzichan stared at Liemo, who was testing the neuron samples in his body. He saw Liemo frowning and smiling in front of the electron microscope. His heart was also pounding with nervousness. Good news, the neuron cells in these samples have not been corroded by biological toxins. Liemo put down the microscope and said happily, "This means that the JNT body is effective against owls." Lanzichan stood up excitedly with the help of the wheelchair. "Does that mean my disease can be cured?" Liemo shook his head and said, "Since your body will continue to secrete biological toxins, the only way to neutralize the biological toxins produced in your body is to continuously inject antibodies. Perhaps through further research, we can find the real culprit of the biological toxins. Only then can it be called a cure." He has handed over all the experimental data to the country through Mr. Wang. He believes that the country will organize human research and achieve breakthrough results soon. Of course, there is no way to restore the atrophied body. Maybe you will need to use crutches for the rest of your life, Liemo said. Lanzichan didn't care. This was the best result for him. Chapter 141 Blue Cloud Airborne. My limbs no longer need to shrink. I finally don't have to worry about becoming a zombie anymore. I no longer have to worry about not being able to wake up the next day before going to bed. Lanzichan actually had tears in his eyes. Who says men don't cry easily? He just wasn't excited yet. Liemo patted his shoulder gently, looked at the endless green sea and said, "You are reborn again. You can realize your wish." At this time, a white seabird flew over the yacht, making a crisp cry. It occasionally flew low over the sea, and occasionally flew into the sky. Everyone's attention was attracted by this active bird. Lan Zichen's excitement eased a lot, and he took out a tissue to wipe the tears from the corners of his eyes. He leaned on his crutches and came to the fence of the yacht. He pointed at the seabird and said, "Now I can do what I want to do like it." "What do you want to do most now?" Liemo asked jokingly. Lan Zichen was silent for a long time, then said, "I want to call my mother." Liemo knew that the relationship between them was not harmonious. Lan Zichen used to be a tool for his mother to show off. Since he got sick, his mother left him here and never visited him again. But they were related by blood, so it was normal for him to have such thoughts. Seeing the hesitation on Lan Zichen's face, Liemo said, "Do what you want to do." Lan Zichen nodded gratefully, picked up the satellite phone on the yacht, and slowly pressed a number. "Who are you? How do you have my private phone number?" A middle-aged woman's voice came from the receiver of the satellite phone, with a questioning tone, but not without politeness. Lan Zichen opened his mouth slightly several times, and finally made a sound. "Mom." "Zichen?" The middle-aged woman's voice seemed very excited. "Where have you been? Auntie reported that you haven't been back for several days." It seems that Lan Zichen did not tell the aunt who took care of him about his whereabouts, because Liemo had told him in advance that the treatment of the disease should be kept confidential. "I'm fine. I called to tell you that my illness is cured, and I'm no longer a loser." He became emotional again. "Hello, what did you say? Where are you?" the woman on the phone asked repeatedly. Lan Zichen felt that he could no longer speak, and he hung up the phone in a panic. Liemo helped him sit on the chair, stood up and poured a cup of water, and handed it to him. "You'll feel better after you say it out." Lan Zichen nodded heavily. Beep. Beep. The satellite phone rang, and Liemo cast an inquiring look at Lan Zichen. Lan Zichen held the water cup and shook his head. Beep. 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 After the phone rang countless times, Liemo finally couldn't help it, and he said, "Maybe you need to solve some things before you find your ideal." As he said that, he answered the phone. "Zichen, where are you? Don't do anything stupid." The woman's voice on the phone seemed a little hysterical. Liemo cleared his throat and said, "Auntie, hello, I'm Lan Zichen's friend. Don't get excited, he's doing very well." "Hello, Zichen's friend. I want to know your current location, okay?" It can be heard that this woman is well educated. Liemo looked at Lan Zichen, who was staring blankly at the water cup. Lan Zichen was staring blankly with an expressionless face. Helplessly, he had to say on the phone, "We are currently in the high seas, which may not be very convenient. After Lan Zichen's illness is completely cured, we will return to Yan University. Please don't worry." At this time, the seabird just now returned and landed gently on the antenna in front of the yacht, chirping. "Zichen's friend, please tell me your maritime coordinates." The woman's voice on the phone became extremely deep. Liemo took the phone helplessly and entered the cabin. He looked at the coordinates displayed on the screen and said, "We are currently approximately at 215 deg point 116.00 N, 129 deg point 317.44 E." After hanging up the phone, he returned to the deck and looked at Lan Zichen and said, "Your mother can't fly over here, can she?" Lan Zichen glanced at him. "Boss, the sea breeze is going to blow. You should go back to the cabin." Zia King shouted at them. Liemo looked into the distance. The waves were surging in the distance. It seemed that the wind was going to blow. He pushed Lan Zichen into the cabin in a wheelchair. "Why don't we play Super Mario?" Liemo suggested, seeing that everyone was bored in the cabin. "I have it on my phone." Super Mario was the only game on his phone. When he was a child, he played it on other people's game consoles, and was often reported to his parents. Dang 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 dang. Beep, beep. You lost again. It's my turn. Liemo, you are cheating. Brother Hay came back from the cockpit and shook his head when he saw the scene of several people playing. Bus, 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 bus. Suddenly, there was a sound of propellers on the sea. Several people ran onto the deck, only to see a helicopter hovering over the sea not far away. Heije was about to go back to the cabin to get weapons, but was stopped by Liemo. If the helicopter had other intentions, they would only be a sitting duck. Could it be Lan Zichen's mother flying over? A bold idea came to his mind. Beep, beep, beep. The satellite phone rang. Liemo grabbed the phone. You guys go down there. Make room. I'm going down. The voice of Lan Zichen's mother came from the phone. Could it be that the helicopter is going to land? The yacht doesn't have enough space to accommodate it. Liemo hurriedly said. You can't land. There's no place. I'll land. Lan Zichen's mother said. After that, the phone was hung up. The helicopter flew over the yacht and hovered, with a rope ladder hanging on the door. A thin figure appeared above the ladder. The sea breeze blew, and the ladder floated in the wind. The thin figure did not panic, but lay tightly on the ladder, waiting for the wind to die down, before continuing to climb down. Finally, a woman wearing a helmet appeared on the deck of the yacht. She waved to the helicopter above, and the helicopter circled in greeting, then flew away. The woman took off her helmet, and her black hair flew out. She stretched out her hand, and said with a smile, "Hello, I'm Lan Zichen's mother, Lan Yun." Liemo was stunned by the woman who fell from the sky, and did not react for a while. Zia King pinched him lightly from behind. "Hello, I'm Lan Zichen's friend. Lan Zichen is in the cabin." Liemo shook her hand gently. Lan Zichen's mother was too young, and she looked to be in her 30s at most. "Let's talk about it in the cabin." In the cabin, Lan Zichen was secretly playing Super Mario with Liemo's phone. Dang 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 dang. Beep, beep. Liemo, I've passed 3 levels. Look how big Mario is now. He didn't know what was happening outside. Seeing Liemo coming in, he shouted with a bit of boasting. Zichen. Lan Yun, who was behind Liemo, couldn't help it anymore when he saw his son. Liemo's phone slipped from Lan Zichen's hand and fell to the floor. The phone, it was so painful. Now he could only pretend that he didn't see it. "Mom." Lan Zichen finally shouted, and Lan Yun rushed forward and held him in his arms. Liemo quietly picked up the phone from the ground and motioned for them to leave the cabin. Fortunately, it's not broken. The quality of the phone sent by WeHua company is quite good. On the deck, gusts of sea breeze blew. Or, let's go to the cockpit. Zia King pulled up her collar and suggested. Chapter 142, $20 million check. The yacht's driver looked helplessly at the few of them squeezing into the cab, and his driver's seat was also occupied by Zia King. "Hey, can you teach me how to drive a boat? I can drive a car and a tank, but I haven't driven a vehicle in the water yet." Zia King looked at the dashboard and said with shining eyes. The driver looked at Brother Hay for help, but Brother Hay turned his head slightly and pretended not to see it. It must be said that Zia King has a great talent for driving. Under the guidance of the driver, she mastered the basic essentials of operating a boat in a short time. Of course, this kind of driving technology is limited to sailing on the vast sea. "Hello, I finished talking to Zichen, and he asked you to come over." Lan Yun knocked on the door of the cab and said. Liemo got up and opened the door, but Brother Hay and Zia King did not follow him. "It's nice here. I want to take a nap," Brother Hay said, lying on the sofa. "I still need to learn how to drive a boat," Zia King said. The driver rolled his eyes helplessly. Liemo had to follow Lan Yun to the cabin alone. "I'm sorry, Liemo. I told Mom about the antibody," Lan Zichen said apologetically when he saw Liemo. Liemo knew this would happen when Lan Yun arrived. There would be no big secrets between mother and son. "It's okay, but please keep it confidential, Auntie. This is a confidential experimental project." Liemo looked at Lan Yun and warned. Lan Yun nodded and said with a smile, "Don't worry, I understand better than you what the emergence of this drug means. Zichen wants to continue to stay in Yan University. I want you to persuade him. Now that his condition is under control, I plan to let him take over the overseas business." Liemo didn't know what business Lan Yun was in. He only knew that she could buy a large flat in Yan University for Lan Zichen, and it was a school district house. The scale of the business she wanted to do would not be too small. After thinking for a while, Liemo asked, "Aunt, do you know Zichen's ideal?" Even after he knew that he was suffering from a terminal illness, he still insisted on studying in Yan University. It was because he loved biology so much, and he hoped to make achievements in the field of biology one day. "Of course, your business is also important, but I think Zichen has been reborn after a disaster, so we should follow his wishes." Lan Yun heard this. Her eyes were slightly red. Maybe mom has ignored your opinions since you were a child, and I think it's enough to give you enough material wealth. Don't worry, I won't force you from today. Mom Lan Zichen's tears rolled down. Liemo now knows why brother He and Xiaoqing didn't come in. This scene of deep love between mother and son is too touching. Lan Yun is worthy of being a businesswoman, and she quickly adjusted her mood. She said to Liemo, I heard from Zichen that you developed the antibody specifically for him. I'm so grateful to you. I know that a young genius like you will not lack money. However, scientific research experiments are very expensive. Here is $20 million as your reward for saving Zichen. Lan Yun took out a checkbook from her bag, wrote down the amount, and signed her name. This is a check from Citibank, which can be accepted worldwide indefinitely. Liemo looked at the paper she handed over. $20 million, equivalent to more than 100 million Chinese yuan, is a huge fortune even for Liemo now. But he shook his head gently. I didn't save Lan Zichen for money. If you are interested, you can donate some money to the ALS fund in China. Because this drug still needs to go through a long clinical trial before it can be put on the market. Before that, they still have to bear huge financial pressure. Lan Yun was shocked by his refusal. Lan Zichen had just told her that this genius boy was just from an ordinary family. But he could refuse his $20 million check without hesitation. So there are really people with such noble character in the world. Lan Yun thought to herself. She suddenly began to feel that her petty and mean business career was meaningless. She nodded heavily. Don't worry, I will donate the $20 million to the ALS Foundation in your name when I go back, hoping to help those who have suffered the same pain as Zichen. Money accumulated to a certain extent will be meaningless. Sometimes, no amount of money can buy life. Therefore, many wealthy people abroad will donate a lot of money to scientific research and medical institutions. Because they know that these scientific research institutions are the hope of human progress. Boss, let's eat. Xiaoqing knocked on the door. Liemo helped her bring out the food. There was a special dish today, that is, roasted sea eel. This sea eel was caught by him in the sea. The sea eel has delicious meat and is a rare delicacy in the sea. Because it is alert by nature, it can only be caught with live bait. Moreover, the moray eel has great power in the water and can bite through the fishing line, so it is known as the most difficult fish to catch in the sea. Fortunately, this time he was lucky and caught one. He specially asked the chef on the yacht to cook it for everyone. It tastes so delicious. Xiaoqing praised while eating. Lan Yun picked up a piece of fish with chopsticks and put it into Lan Zichen's bowl. The mother and son smiled at each other. After the meal, Lan Yun took the initiative to undertake the work of scrubbing. After the meal, several people moved out the chairs and came to the deck outside. The weather was very good at night, with no clouds in the sky, and countless twinkling stars had already filled the sky. The gentle sea breeze blew, and the yacht rippled with the waves. I don't know where the endless void is. Liemo remembered the warning of the big-headed Pajero man, but it should be fine to observe with the naked eye. The universe is really too big. In comparison, we humans are not even as good as ants. Xiaoqing sighed as she looked at the starry sky next to her. Hearing her sigh, Liemo recalled the thoughts he had when he was a child. He said, I once had such a thought under the starry sky, that is, what am I, and what am I? What am I, and what am I? Lan Zichen repeated his words. As a highly intelligent teenager, Lan Zichen clearly realized the true meaning of Liemo's words. As an intelligent creature, human beings are actually contradictory individuals. Who am I? Where do I come from? Where am I going? These are the three most classic questions in life. Countless philosophers have thought about this question, but there is no clear answer so far, because humans, as three-dimensional creatures, cannot observe the full picture of phenomena. If I delete any moment in my life, I can't be who I'm now. Liemo continued, whether it is victory or frustration, whether it is joy or sadness, it all constitutes a person's life. Without any moment, people can't be themselves. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 143, The Mist of Pajero's History. The new task has been completed. Pajero, Liemo called in his heart. Grey fog filled the air, and a pink learning machine appeared. Click on the task option. Task: save the dying and the wounded, young man. Task requirements: invent a new drug that can effectively treat a currently incurable disease. Task completion. 100% task reward. 100,000 subject points, already issued, 1 ordinary lottery. With 10,000 points in hand, Liemo was in a good mood. But which subject should the subject points be added to this time? Click on the character attributes. 1. Mathematics level. 5. 1500/200,000. 2. Physics level. 4. 2000/100,000. 3. Chemistry level. 0. 0 hundredths. 4. Biology level. 4. 2000/100,000. 5. Intelligence level. 2 plus 1 available points. 10,000 mathematics requires 200,000 points to upgrade, and at least one task must be completed. But Liemo decided to add all the points to the math subject, because math is the foundation of everything. The upgraded task attributes are: 1. Mathematics level. 5. 10,1500/200,000. 2. Physics level. 4. 2000/100,000. 3. Chemistry level. 0. 0 hundredths. 4. Biology level. 4. 2000/100,000. 5. Intelligence level. 3 available points. 0 system prompt. Congratulations on your chance to win a regular lottery. Do you want to draw now? Start the lottery immediately. Prizes for the lottery wheel. 1. The Grand Unified Theory of the Universe. 2. A superluminal reconnaissance ship. 3. A subliminal transport ship. 4. 2 small pieces of pure crystals. 5. Dark Matter Explorer. 6. Energy Coffee X20. The Grand Unified Theory of the Universe. Liemo's hands were shaking. The Grand Unified Theory is called the principle of all things. It unifies gravity, electromagnetic force, strong interaction, and weak interaction. Theoretically, it can explain all phenomena in the universe, and is the lifelong pursuit of all Earth scientists. If I can draw it, he felt that his heart almost stopped beating. He took a deep breath, and gently turned the pointer of the lottery wheel with his fingers. The pointer began to spin rapidly, and Liemo closed his eyes. Maybe when I open my eyes, I will have it. Congratulations on winning Energy Coffee X20. The system's prompt sound broke his fantasy. Well, Energy Coffee is also good. In order to develop J&T body, he almost finished all his coffee. Liemo is a person who is easily satisfied. Question time. Liemo looked at the grey fog on the high platform and said, "Can I ask a question?" The voice of the big-headed Peroge people came from the depths of the grey fog. "Excuse me. I want to know how you Pajero people developed under the oppression of the Gilu beast and eventually gained dominance." Liemo asked a strange question. Earth scientists once analyzed that, if the dinosaurs on Earth had not been wiped out by the sudden meteorite, then as a rising star, facing the land overlord, that was once more than 10 meters tall, humans would have no chance to develop today's civilization. Under the rule of the highly intelligent Goody Beast, the Pajero people could develop from the budding of wisdom to the final overthrow of the Goody Beast. This is simply unimaginable in the history of biological development. The grey fog on the high platform rolled, and a sigh full of vicissitudes came. Like countless civilizations with a long history, the initial historical records of Peroge have been lost in the years. What I'm describing below is just the descendants of Pajero, based on the few words in historical documents, which may not be the original appearance of history. It seems that just like the ancient historical records of civilization on Earth, they have all been revised countless times, Liemo thought. The social structure of the Goodoo beasts is similar to your ancient feudal society. The beast king of the Goodoo beasts is high above, and has been passed down in a family for countless years. Then there are the beast ministers who have a large number of slaves and hunting forests, and the lowest level is the ordinary Goody beasts. Of course, we Pagerus can only exist as slaves, an appendage of the master. We sweat for the goody beasts when we are young, and bleed for the goody beasts when we are old. Last time I told you that the Pagerus, who were just beginning to sprout wisdom, were very dissatisfied with their status, and launched a rebellion that was doomed to fail. The Pagerus, who were less than 2 meters tall, were quickly defeated by the goody beasts, who were 15 meters tall, wearing hard armor, and had sharp teeth. Almost all the Pagerus who participated in the rebellion were slaughtered on the spot. Remember, I said almost. The big-headed Pajero emphasized. Then, Guduman launched a large-scale purge of those Pagerus who had already burst out with wisdom. Countless Pagerus with wisdom were thrown into the hunting forest and became Guduman's toys and food. In these two battles, a Pajero man was lucky enough to escape. He was a slave of the Beast King Gudu, and was responsible for taking care of the Beast King's eldest son, the future Beast King. We call him Churen in history books, which means the first real Pajero man. After the incident, Churen found a few substitutes to cover for himself. He eventually escaped the disaster, and became the leader of the Pajero wise men at that time. Continuous failures made Churen realize that blindly launching a resistance movement would not defeat Guduman. So he used the Inspirers to continuously inspire the wisdom of the Pagerus. On the other hand, he used his favorable conditions to lobby the Guduman high-level officials to give up treating the Pagerus as food. In fact, for Guduman, the Pagerus can only be regarded as desserts after meals, not their main source of food. At this point, the big-headed Pajero paused and said in confusion, "Historians are very confused about such records in history books. This is because the Gudu beast is not a charitable animal. Ordinary persuasion may not be effective, and at that time, the Gudu beast adopted a strategy of extermination for the intelligent Pagerus. No one knows how the first humans did it, but the massacre of the Gudu beast did stop. In the following hundreds of years, the Pagerus gradually changed from slaves to servants, and some Pagerus even began to accept Gudu beast's education. The two races began to coexist peacefully. Of course, from time to time, there would be Pajero rebels who, at the instigation of the first humans, would launch small-scale riots to put pressure on the Gudu beasts. These riots would soon be extinguished by the Gudu beast's army, but they would also remind them that the Pagerus are no longer the same as before. Lobbying from the upper level, coupled with armed riots from the lower level, the Gudu beasts have also repeatedly made concessions to the status of the Pagerus. Without the consent of the Beast King, the Gudu beasts can no longer execute the Pagerus at will. The Churen eventually died over the years, but the organization he founded has always been adhering to his philosophy, constantly striving for social status for the Pajero people. With the passage of time, the advancement of Gilo-beast technology, and the advent of the electronic age, the status of the Pajero people has risen unprecedentedly. Because the electronic components are very small, the two large claws of the Gilo-beast cannot even completely twist two wires together. The advantages of the Pajero people are revealed. Their flexible fingers can operate the mouse and keyboard, and their small bodies can go deep into the computer room to repair damaged electronic components. Even in the Gilo-beast's Elders Council, there are Pajero people, although they still appear as servants of the Elders. In order to strengthen the control of power, the Beast King issued an order. That is, all Gilo-beasts must have electronic chips implanted under the skin. Even newborn Gilo-beasts need to be implanted. All Gilo-beasts on the Pajero planet have been implanted with electronic chips within 10 years. This electronic chip was developed by Pajero scientists and installed by Pajero engineers. They secretly placed a sufficient amount of high-energy explosives in the electronic chips. The annual hunting festival of the Gilo-beasts has arrived. On this day, all the Gilo-beasts will put down their work and go to the hunting forest. At 12 o'clock in the evening, the Pajero people sent the detonation signal of the explosives. All the Gilo-beasts with electronic chips implanted in their bodies fell down. In the royal hunting forest, the Gilo-beast king looked at the Gilo-beast corpses scattered all over the ground and the Pajero people who were constantly approaching, and suddenly realized it. But it was too late, and it was eventually made into a specimen and displayed in the museum. Chapter 144 Odd Perfect Conjecture. Liemo was immersed in the history told by the big-headed Pajero man for a long time. He didn't expect that the dominant Gudu beast was destroyed by the Pajero man in such a dramatic way. New task released. The learning system sounded a prompt. Task: young man, keep up the good work. Explanation: without accumulating small steps, one cannot reach 1,000 miles. Without accumulating small streams, one cannot form a river or sea. When studying, one must not slack off. Requirements: solve an unsolved mathematical problem. Reward: 200,000 subject experience points, 1 ordinary lottery. Time limit: 30 days. Accept. Yes/no. This task requires solving an unsolved mathematical problem. Liemo accepted it very happily. He had solved 2 problems before and had a lot of experience. When Liemo returned to Yanda, he was not greeted with flowers or applause. No one even knew what he had done, but his heart was full of joy because he saved a person's life, which was the greatest compliment for Liemo. Department of Mathematics, Professor Wu's office. Liemo took the initiative to pour a cup of tea for Professor Wu. Teacher, I have been busy recently and neglected my study of mathematics. I apologize to you here. Professor Wu looked at his actions and wanted to be angry, but couldn't find a reason. He knew that Liemo must have conducted an extremely important biological experiment, and he heard that there was a student in the biology department who was in the late stage of ALS and could now go to school with a cane every day. I'm afraid it's not the masterpiece of his student, but Liemo didn't want to say it, so he didn't ask. For such a genius student, he should be more tolerant. Professor Wu smiled and said, okay, since you have completed the biological experiment, it's time to transfer your energy to mathematics. Liemo came here this time just to choose a branch of mathematics as a research object. He replied, of course. As a graduate student in the Department of Mathematics, I should make achievements in mathematics. Professor Wu was very satisfied with his attitude. He tasted the tea brought by his beloved student, looked at the green tea leaves swirling in the cup, and asked kindly, which direction of topic do you want to choose as your research object? I wonder if the teacher has heard of the odd number perfect conjecture? Liemo asked mysteriously. Professor Wu suddenly felt that the tea in his mouth was so hot that he almost spit it out. Are you going to study the odd number perfect conjecture? Professor Wu still recovered. Fortunately, he did not embarrass himself in front of his students. But the topic proposed by his student was too amazing. The odd number perfect conjecture is a conjecture with a history of thousands of years. Its specific description is whether there is an odd number in natural numbers that is a perfect number. A perfect number refers to a perfect number must be a natural number that is equal to itself if all its factors are added together except itself. For example, 6 is a perfect number. Since 6 equals 1x, 6 equals 2x3, 6 has 1, 2, and 3 as its divisors in addition to itself. It can be seen that the sum of these 3 divisors is 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 6, which is exactly equal to 6 itself. In addition to 6, there are 28, 496, 81, 28, all of which are perfect numbers. By listing, we can see that all perfect numbers are even numbers. So does there exist such an odd number that makes it a perfect number itself? This conjecture looks simple, but countless mathematicians have fallen at its feet. Euler, Euclid, Descartes, and Nicomacheus have all studied this problem, but none of them have a clear answer. So Professor Wu was really surprised that his students would choose to crack such a hard and stinky conjecture as a research topic. Not to mention that this problem is extremely difficult. It is not currently a cutting-edge field in mathematical research. Now many talented mathematics graduate students will take group theory and topology as their research topics, so that even if they don't achieve any results, they can still write a few papers. Professor Wu looked at Liemo's clear eyes, hesitated for a moment and said, why don't you think about it again? No one has proved this conjecture for thousands of years. It's too difficult. Liemo knew the teacher's good intentions. He looked at the sunlight penetrating the window and said, isn't mathematics about knowing when to give up when it's difficult? And I like numbers very much. Numbers are the foundation of mathematics. For the first time, Professor Wu felt overwhelmed by his students. He began to miss those stupid students who would follow his words as dogma. He could only nod and say, the odd number perfect conjecture has been studied by many famous mathematicians in history. You can avoid many traps by referring to their proof ideas. Professor Wu was also helpless with this difficult conjecture and could only provide some empirical references. Liemo nodded. Remember the past and learn from it. I will study the achievements of my predecessors first. After the conversation, Liemo stood up and left. Professor Wu looked at his departing figure and sighed in his heart. It's also a trouble to have such an excellent student. I feel like I have almost no knowledge to teach him. No, I don't think I have taught him anything. Professor Wu patted his head. The campus was still as quiet as ever. Groups of students walked on the roadside, talking and laughing. On the sports field, some students even let off some steam, and there was a warm scene everywhere. After nearly a month of running around, Liemo felt that he still liked school life better. Boss, you're back. Let's eat now. Xia King was cooking in the dormitory. When she saw Liemo coming back, she brought the food to the table. Now Xia King no longer has to follow him around all day, because under Liemo's strong protest, they reached 3 rules. 1. Xia King cannot follow Liemo all day on campus. 2. Outside the campus, Xia King has the right to protect Liemo personally. 3. Xia King has the right to modify the first rule at any time. Compared with the complicated situation outside the campus, Yanda is much safer. Under Liemo's firm protest, and with the approval of the Security Bureau, Xia King decided to let Liemo free range on campus. In her spare time, Xia King would go to the music department to take classes during the day. She has loved music since she was a child and even wanted to be a musician, but she didn't have the conditions at that time. Now that she is staying at Yanda, she will naturally not miss this good opportunity. And Yanda teachers don't mind extra students. Xia King will come back early in the evening to prepare dinner for the two. Your roasted eggplant tastes really good. Liemo sat at the dining table and tasted a bite of the dish. Although Xia King has a bad temper, she cooks well. After dinner, Xia King would take a walk along the lake, while Liemo would hide in his room and begin to study the odd number perfect conjecture. Chapter 145, Turtle Shell Problem. Am I too proud? Liemo looked at the simple proposition of the perfect conjecture of odd numbers and couldn't help reflecting. Originally, he thought that with the level of mathematics level 5, he could quickly open up his mind. But now it is 10:30 in the evening, and he doesn't even have a clue. This question is a turtle shell. No wonder Euler, one of the 3 peaks in mathematics, failed to solve it. Liemo felt very depressed and got up to open the curtains. The window of the dormitory could clearly see the sports field. Under the night sky, the bright lights illuminated the sports field very brightly. Many students were walking on the sports field. Everything was so harmonious and leisurely. The one wearing a red running suit seems to be Xia King. He saw a girl with a ponytail running around the track. Since there is no idea, it is better to go for a run to change the mood. Liemo felt that he hadn't run for a long time. He missed the feeling of running on the sports field, so he got up and changed into a sports suit. The weather tonight is very good, and the sky is full of twinkling stars. How wonderful, each bright spot is a huge planet, and perhaps there are countless creatures on some bright spots. Maybe the creatures on those bright spots will see the Earth as a bright spot. Liemo thought as he walked, and he thought his idea was very interesting. College students are always full of energy. Although it is late at night, there are still many students playing on the roadside. The sports field is not far away. When Liemo came to the side of the field, many students had already left. After all, they could not delay tomorrow's classes. The sports field seemed much quieter. After finishing the warm-up exercises, he began to run along the track. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. He felt the warm wind sliding across his cheeks. This feeling was so comfortable. Liemo ran on the track, as if he had forgotten everything. His speed was getting faster and faster. He wanted to vent all the pressure he had experienced these days on this elliptical track. 1 lap, 2 laps. He could no longer remember how many laps he had run. His mind was completely empty, and he had merged with nature. Just as he was immersed in the pleasure of running, a voice pulled him back to the real world. Liemo, don't run. It seemed to be Xia King. Liemo slowed down and slowly stopped. A red figure ran from a distance, like a brisk antelope. It was indeed King. Are you running like this? Are you going to die? King ran beside Liemo and scolded him. After running a few laps on the track, King began to walk on the sidelines. At this time, a fast figure caught her attention. This person ran too fast. The figure passed by her from time to time. 1 lap, 2 laps. Can the body withstand running so many laps at this speed? She found that the figure looked so much like her boss, so she stopped and observed carefully. When the figure passed by again, it was indeed Liemo, so she shouted hurriedly. Liemo was a little overwhelmed by King's scolding. Is it wrong for him to run? What's wrong, King? How can you run laps at such a fast speed? Don't you know that long-term high-speed running will be very harmful to the body? King had systematically studied everything about the human body. It turned out that it was because of this. Liemo felt a little funny. Since he took the transformation potion, his body has been different from that of ordinary people. It's okay. I once won the school's 10,000 meter long distance running championship, Liemo said with a smile. You? King was a little surprised. She looked at the slightly thin boy in front of her. Liemo said, really, many boys in the sports department can't run faster than me. Seeing his confident words, King believed it and muttered in her heart, is the boss's body so strong? The next day was the weekend. Early in the morning, Liemo gently knocked on King's door and said, I'm going to the library to study. He knew that King liked to sleep in on weekends. Who is whose assistant? Liemo shook his head and carried his school bag. The campus in summer is colorful. The beautiful girls put on short clothes one after another, causing him to have to look away repeatedly. 6, 28, 496, 8128 are all perfect numbers, so can we make a formula to generate all perfect numbers? Liemo thought as he walked. Suddenly he felt that he bumped into a soft object. Classmate, why don't you have eyes when you walk? A girl with long hair and a dark green short skirt was staring at him with wide eyes. Oops, I was too engrossed in my thoughts and bumped into someone. Liemo immediately expressed his apology. Classmate, I'm sorry, I didn't see it. I'm a living person, didn't you see it? What's the look in your eyes? The girl didn't insist on giving up, but just thought that this boy looked like a fool, and it was a bit funny to see that he was a bookworm. Yes, my eyesight is not very good. I guess I read too many books, Liemo said self-deprecatingly. When encountering such a sharp-tongued girl, the best choice is to stay away from her. The girl tidied her long hair with her hands and asked, which department and class are you from? If I have any physical damage, I reserve the right to claim compensation from you. There are too few nerds in Yanda now, so she decided to tease him and let him walk more carefully in the future. Liemo thought for a while and said, I'm Liemo from class 4 of biology, freshman. If you have any problems with your physical condition, you can come to me. Class 4 of biology. The girl showed a surprised expression, and her two big eyes rolled around a few times. I'm from class 1 of biology. How could I not know you? Liemo felt that it was a bit too coincidental to meet a classmate from the same department. He smiled and replied, I don't go to class very often, so we don't know each other. The girl insisted, are you lying to evade responsibility? There are not many students who don't go to class often in our Yanda. It seems that the academic style of Yanda is really good. Facing this girl who doesn't believe him, Liemo seems a little helpless. He can't drag her to the academic affairs office of the Department of Biology to verify her identity. Do you know Daffy, the counselor of our class? Liemo thought of someone. When the girl heard him mention Daffy, she immediately believed it a little. Daffy is indeed the counselor of class 4, but this does not prove that you are from class 4. But she decided to continue the teasing to the end. The dormitory of biology class 4 is on the 3rd floor of building 26, Minghua building. There are 32 students in total, 26 of whom are boys. The teacher who teaches human biology is a middle-aged teacher with a small mustache. He said his last name is Hu, and his accent shows that he is from the coastal area of Fujian. The teacher who teaches cytology is Mr. Liu, who claims to be only 50 years old, but based on the number of his nasolabial folds, he is at least 55 years old. Liemo used his photographic memory to narrate everything he could recall about the Department of Biology. Okay, I believe you. The girl felt that she couldn't push the honest man too far. My name is Zhang Yazi. She stretched out her white onion-like jade hand. It turned out that she was joking with him. Liemo felt a little angry that he had wasted so much time. My name is Liemo. Sorry, I still need to go to the library. Liemo ignored her and left. Wait for me, I also need to go to the library. Zhang Yazi's voice came from behind him, but he turned a deaf ear to it. Chapter 146 Proof. Liemo, you are a biology student. Why are you reading group theory? Liemo, what are the mathematical symbols in this book? Liemo, you are amazing. You can understand such a complicated formula. In the library, Zhang Yazi came to Liemo like a dogskin plaster. Liemo disliked her noise and asked her to leave several times. Is the library owned by your family? The beautiful Zhang Yazi put her hands on her waist, causing the boys around her to look at her with envy. Liemo could only shake his head helplessly. He had no experience with such a girl. He decided to adopt a strategy of ignoring her and turned a deaf ear to Zhang Yazi's words. Liemo, the cytology class is about to start. Aren't you going to class? Liemo, if you are sure you don't want to go to class, the teacher will call your name. In the end, Liemo looked at Zhang Yazi's back as she left with her school bag helplessly and smiled triumphantly. Even under Zhang Yazi's constant harassment, Liemo still wrote out the formula for perfect numbers. If to caret p1 is a prime number, then to caret p1 x to caret p1 is a perfect number. For example, p equals 2. To caret p1 equals 3 is a prime number. To caret p1 x to caret p1 equals 3x2 equals 6 is a perfect number. According to this formula, all perfect numbers can be generated. However, according to this formula, it cannot be concluded that there cannot be perfect numbers in odd numbers, and further constraints need to be set. For a whole day, Liemo calculated the first constraint condition. If there is an odd number that is perfect, then this odd number cannot be divided by 105. In this way, the factors and multiples of 105 can be ruled out. Why are mathematical problems in numbers always difficult to solve? Because there are too few advanced theorems and axioms that can be applied to them. Liemo shook his head. No wonder Professor Wu suggested that he change the topic. After dinner, Liemo and Xiaoqing ran laps on the sports field as usual. He has now developed the habit of thinking while running. It is almost impossible to prove that odd numbers are perfect using the constraint method. While running, he rejected the results of his hard work for a day. For math problems, a wrong solution is the most terrible, which may make you exhaust your energy and gain nothing. Experienced Liemo predicted the error of this method in advance. At night, Liemo turned on the desk lamp and thought hard about new ideas. Virtual number? I can come up with a virtual odd number and pretend that this odd number has the characteristics of a perfect number. He thought of a new idea, virtual number. Perfect odd number should have all the characteristics of virtual number and also come with special conditions. And if it can be proved that virtual does not meet any of the constraints of perfect odd number, then perfect odd number cannot exist. Simply put, since perfect odd number cannot be divided by 105, if virtual can be divided by 105, perfect odd number does not exist. Liemo thought that the task now became to prove whether this virtual number exists. His thoughts became clear at once. First, he needed to list the characteristics of perfect numbers. Property 1 of perfect numbers, they can all be written as the sum of consecutive natural numbers. 6 equals 1 plus 2 plus 3. 28 equals 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7. 496 equals 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 30 plus 31. Property 2, the sum of the reciprocals of all their factors is 2. 1 slash 1 plus 1 slash 2 plus 1 slash 3 plus 1 slash 6 equals 2. 1 slash 1 plus 1 slash 2 plus 1 slash 4 plus 1 slash 7 plus 1 slash 14 plus 1 slash 28 equals 2. Property 3, all perfect numbers end with 6 or 8. In the early morning, Liemo felt that he had found the edge of the answer. He took out his mobile phone and sent a WeChat message to Xiaoqing. Don't disturb me during the retreat. Then he took out a bottle of energy coffee from the warehouse and drank it without hesitation. Inspiration came to him inadvertently, and Liemo wrote quickly, constraints. 1. It has at least 6 different prime divisors. 2. It must be in the form of p to the power of 4x plus 1 times q1 to the power of 2 or 1 times q2 to the power of 2 or 2 times qn to the power of 2n. The 1 in q1 and 2 or 1 is a subscript, where p must be a prime number in the form of 4k plus 1, and q can be any odd prime number. 3. If all a's, except a1 are equal to 1, then a1 cannot be equal to 2. If all a's, except a1 and a2 are equal to 1, then a1 and a2 cannot both be equal to 2. 4. If the exponents of all q's are increased by 1, the exponents obtained cannot have 9, 15, 21, or 33 as common divisors. 5. All a's cannot be equal to 2. 6. If the exponent of p4x plus 1 is equal to 5, then all a's cannot be equal to 1 or 2. 7. If it is not divisible by 3, it must have at least 9 different prime divisors. If it is not divisible by 21, it must have at least 11 different prime divisors. If it is not divisible by 15, it must have at least 14 different prime divisors. If it is not divisible by 105, it must have at least 27 different prime divisors. This will require that this odd perfect number is at least greater than 10 to the 44th power. Therefore, n plus 1n has the same sign as n1. According to mathematical induction, n plus 1n has the same sign as a2a1. Therefore, for all n plus, the necessary insufficient condition for n plus 1n is 0 or 11 or a13. It can be seen that there is no odd number that satisfies all constraints. Therefore, there is no odd number that meets the characteristics of a perfect number. Proof of the odd number perfect conjecture. After writing the last mathematical symbol, Liemo closed his eyes, and he felt that the bud of wisdom had sprouted another branch in the depths of his mind. No wonder so many famous mathematicians in history have not cracked this seemingly simple conjecture. It turns out that the constraint itself is a trap. The world of numbers is too wonderful. The next step is to organize the paper into a manuscript. This time, Liemo decided to write a manuscript in Chinese and English. It's the 5th day. Boss won't faint in the room, right? Xia King, who was in the living room, thought to herself while eating an ice cream cone. Forget it, leave him alone. After all, Boss is not an ordinary person. After eating the ice cream cone, she was about to pick up the orange on the coffee table and looked at her snow-white fingers. Oh no, I need to lose weight. It's all because of that damn Liemo. What kind of retreat makes me have to stay here all day? She hesitated for a moment and finally gave up the tempting orange. An orange has 50 calories, which requires running 800 meters. She looked around and there was no fitness equipment in the living room. The final decision was to do aerobics. She turned on the TV and turned the volume to the minimum, jumping to the rhythm on TV. This is what Liemo saw when he opened the door. The tall Xia King was wearing tight pants and posing in various positions following the TV. Boss, are you out? Xia King said while jumping. Close your eyes. She suddenly realized that her clothes were a bit cool and immediately fled back to her room. This Xia King, how could she be like a child? Liemo shook his head. Chapter 147 Unexpected Contribution. At noon, the sun shines through the glass and falls on the white porcelain vase on the windowsill. The flowers in the vase are particularly charming. At the desk, Professor Wu is frowning and carefully reviewing the paper brought by Liemo on the perfect conjecture of odd numbers. When his student handed him the thick paper, he was full of surprise. This kid actually wrote the paper. Bored, Liemo picked up a mathematics journal and sat at the desk to read it. Professor Wu read the first 3 pages of the paper several times and did not find any obvious mistakes. But why can't I understand the idea? Should I really ask my students for advice? Professor Wu decided to try again, but their stomachs started to growl. How about I treat you to a meal? Liemo nodded. The effect of the energy coffee was almost over. Xia Wang, order 2 tequilas and send them in. Professor Wu dialed the internal phone. Tequila? Liemo was a little amused. He thought he had solved the problem and the teacher would take him to a big meal. After finishing the takeaway meal, Professor Wu continued to read the paper while Liemo lay on the sofa bored. He had almost finished reading the mathematics journal on the desk. "Teacher, is there any problem with these pages?" Liemo found that Professor Wu's eyes had been on the first 3 pages of the paper for several hours. At this rate, when would he finish reading the 600-page paper? Professor Wu knew that he had been discovered by his students, and he murmured, "Your conversion here is a little unclear. I'm still thinking about it." Hearing the teacher point out the shortcomings of the paper, Liemo immediately leaned forward, looked at the place where Professor Wu pointed, and replied, "This is the virtual number method adopted, which constrains all the odd numbers that meet the conditions. Look at A." As he explained, Professor Wu suddenly realized, and he slapped the table. "Too clever. How did you think of it? Genius, genius." Liemo smiled embarrassedly, and Professor Wu also realized his gaffe. "Please continue to read. I will explain the idea of the proof next to you." Liemo realized that without his own explanation, it would be difficult for the teacher to understand the paper in a short time, let alone give revision suggestions. "Look here, I used a function. Clever, clever. And here, just reverse the value. A wonderful idea, a wonderful idea." Liemo's explanation always draws praise from Professor Wu. Finally, under his guidance, Professor Wu finished reading the entire paper. "Teacher, is there anything that needs to be revised?" Liemo stared at Professor Wu and asked, which was also the main purpose of his visit this time. Revise. Revise what?" Professor Wu was still immersed in the wonderful ideas of the paper. "No need to revise. The logic is rigorous. The evidence is clear. It is a perfect paper. At least with my level, I can't make any suggestions for addition." Professor Wu, as a first-line big shot in the Chinese mathematics community, couldn't make any suggestions for addition. It seems that there is no logical error in this paper, and Liemo is relieved. "By the way, which foreign magazine are you going to publish this paper in? The American Journal of Mathematics, the Journal of Natural Science, or the Annals of Mathematics?" Professor Wu asked. If Liemo is willing, he would be honored to write a letter of introduction to his disciple. Liemo thought for a while and said, "I plan to give the exclusive publication rights of the paper to the Mathematical Monthly." Mathematical Monthly? Professor Wu said in surprise. Although the Mathematical Monthly is well known in China, it does not meet the level of this paper. Although the odd number perfect conjecture is not as famous as the Goldbach conjecture and the Riemann conjecture, it is also a well-known conjecture in the history of mathematics. Euclid, Descartes, Nicomacheus and Euler have not broken it. If this proof is published in an academic journal, it will definitely shock the entire mathematics community. The word shocking comes out of the mouth of an old scholar like Professor Wu, and it has a special taste. Are you afraid that the review of foreign magazines is too strict, and that your paper will not pass? Don't worry, although I'm not specialized in this, the methods and logic you used in the paper are impeccable. Professor Wu was worried that Liemo chose the Mathematical Monthly because it was too difficult to submit to well-known foreign mathematics magazines. "I have published several papers in foreign journals. How can I be afraid of this?" Liemo answered sincerely from the bottom of his heart. "These are not the reasons why I decided to submit to the Mathematical Monthly. Teacher, you also know that the Mathematical Monthly is one of the few remaining professional mathematical academic journals in China. Every time there is an important paper, it is necessary to apply for reprinting from foreign magazines. In this way, the authority of domestic paper journals is getting less and less, and the discourse power of the academic community will gradually be monopolized by foreign magazines." Liemo said the real reason: the level of the published papers is not high, which is also the current situation of domestic academic journals. Many domestic scholars who write high-level papers will submit them to foreign journals. He does not expect to change this situation by his own efforts, but at least he has to do his best. Professor Wu is very pleased that he can have such an idea. He smiled and said, "It's great that you can think like this, but it's a pity for this heavy paper. In comparison, you will lose a lot of popularity." Liemo has never cared about fame, because the real reason for his scientific research is those Pajero people thousands of light years away. He said with a righteous face, "I never care about such external things. As a researcher, new scientific discoveries are the greatest praise." Liemo left with the paper. Professor Wu sat at his desk, thinking about what he had just said for a long time. Don't let honest people suffer. Professor Wu made a decision in his heart. Liemo's performance was too much in line with the standard of an honest person. He picked up the phone and dialed a number. Leo Wang. "Yes, I'm Leo Wu. It's like this. I have a student." After a conversation, and hanging up the phone, he picked up the phone and dialed another number. "Professor Liu. This is Professor Wu." He made more than a dozen calls in a row. These calls were all made to his former classmates and students who made a name for themselves in the academic world. There were even several who worked in universities abroad. On the phone, Professor Wu told the story again, and asked them to pay more attention to the paper after it was published. The person on the other end of the phone naturally agreed to the request of his old colleague and old mentor. Professor Wu put down the phone and said to himself, "Students have the country in their hearts, and teachers naturally cannot lag behind." Chapter 148 Playing Big. Yanda, coffee shop. The lights are dim, and the soothing music creates a different atmosphere. Couples in groups of 3 or 4 sit facing each other. Liemo regretted agreeing to let Wei Xiaonian come here. He tasted the bitter coffee. Human beings are strange creatures that always like to abuse themselves and get pleasure from self-abuse. This is true for tobacco, tea, and coffee. Wei Xiaonian, who is opposite, is flipping through his perfect odd numbers conjecture. He is very fast. In less than an hour, Wei Xiaonian has flipped through the paper. Then he smiled and said, "The paper is great, but I just can't understand it." He didn't understand it, but he was still pretending here, wasting an hour in vain. Liemo was heartbroken. "Professor Wu has already read it," he said directly. Hearing this, Wei Xiaonian's confidence increased a little. He smiled and said, "The teacher has already read it, so there is naturally no problem. Which foreign magazine are you going to submit to?" "I have dealt with all the major well-known magazines, and have several acquaintances." It seems that half a year has passed, and Wei Xiaonian has made great progress, and has expanded his business abroad. Liemo shook his head and said, "I'm going to submit it to your mathematical monthly." "What?" Wei Xiaonian stood up from his seat, attracting the attention of the young couples around him. Realizing his gaffe, he slowly sat down and asked Liemo, "This is the perfect odd number conjecture, a world-class problem that even the great Euler couldn't prove. You want to submit it to our magazine?" Seeing his surprise, Liemo knew that his decision was correct. Now even Wei Xiaonian, an editor of a domestic magazine, thinks that excellent papers should be submitted to foreign magazines. This has to be said to be the sadness of the academic community. "Yes, I'm going to submit it to Mathematical Monthly." Liemo nodded heavily. "Why, is this paper not qualified enough?" he asked again in confusion. Facing Liemo's questioning, Wei Xiaonian blushed and said, "Qualified, very qualified. Isn't it enough to be qualified? You can take the paper back for review today." Liemo stood up and paid the money. "I have something else to do, so I won't say more." Liemo left the cafe, leaving Wei Xiaonian holding the paper in a daze. He couldn't believe that what he had just experienced was real. Liemo actually gave the paper that proved the world-class difficulty conjecture to their magazine for publication. Happiness comes too suddenly. I'd better give the paper to the editor-in-chief as soon as possible. He only then remembered that the money for the coffee just now was also paid by Liemo. This Liemo is such a good friend. On the way back to the magazine, Wei Xiaonian drove the car and looked at the paper on the passenger seat from time to time. Mathematical Monthly magazine. Editor-in-chief Wan looked at the sample of the next issue of the magazine and scratched the few hairs on his head unconsciously. The sparse hair on his head is expected to be sacrificed after dozens of such scratches. He felt that he had a hard time and the level of these papers was too low. He is an idealistic man. Since he took over the position of editor-in-chief 2 years ago, he has carried out great reforms in the magazine. He streamlined the staff and greatly increased the remuneration for authors. The status of Mathematical Monthly in the domestic academic community has been rising, but the quality of the papers submitted to the magazine has plummeted recently. Without raw materials, even the best chefs cannot cook a good meal. Should I tell readers that the monthly magazine will be suspended for 2 months due to the poor quality of the manuscripts recently? He smiled bitterly and shook his head. Should I apply to foreign magazines to reprint a few articles? Editor-in-Chief Wang had another idea in his mind, but he quickly cut it off. No, not only do I have to endure their harsh conditions to apply for reprinting, but the impression of readers will also be a level lower. Just as he was worrying about the manuscript, the door of the editor-in-chief's office was pushed open with a bang. Who was so bold? Didn't they tell them to take good care of the public property of the magazine? If they pushed the door like this, it would not take long for them to spend more money on repairing the door. Editor-in-Chief Wang was about to vent all his frustrations this morning to the newcomer. Editor-in-Chief, Liemo has submitted an article. He saw Wei Xiaonian waving a manuscript and shouted excitedly, Liemo. Editor-in-Chief Wang remembered that he was the young genius who discovered Demo Crossing. It was said that he was a fellow student of Wei Xiaonian. However, Mathematics Monthly card is a mathematics magazine, so it is normal for Liemo to submit an article. Seeing how excited Wei Xiaonian was, young people are indeed lacking in stability. Thinking of this, he asked calmly, have you reviewed it? For Wei Xiaonian, the pillar of the magazine, he could only suppress his anger for the time being. I don't understand. Wei Xiaonian's face did not show a trace of shame. It shouldn't be like this. Wei Xiaonian's current professional level has risen sharply, and ordinary papers are no longer difficult for him. Editor-in-Chief Wang took the manuscript from his hand with doubts. On perfect conjecture of odd numbers. This. He stood up from his chair at once. As an old editor who has been immersed in the field of mathematics for decades, he naturally knew what the perfect conjecture of odd numbers was. Liemo has proved this problem, and will it be published in our mathematical monthly? He stared at Wei Xiaonian, afraid that Wei Xiaonian would say no. As expected, Wei Xiaonian nodded with a red face. A proof paper on a mathematical problem that is comparable to the Goldbach conjecture is ready to be published in our magazine. Editor-in-Chief Wang immediately raised the odd number perfect conjecture to the level of the Goldbach conjecture. This shows that the mathematical monthly will soon become world class. This Liemo is really visionary. Editor-in-Chief Wang made the final conclusion. He is now deeply proud of the mathematical monthly. It seems that it is now world-class academic journal. Wei Xiaonian looked at Editor-in-Chief Wang in surprise. Editor-in-Chief Wang immediately raised the mathematical monthly to a new height. He found that he still underestimated this stubborn old man with an unprepossessing appearance. Do we need to review the content of the manuscript first to see if it is correct? Wei Xiaonian reminded from the side. Although he was very sure that there would be no mistakes in the paper written by Liemo, academics require rigor. Editor-in-Chief Wang flipped through the paper with a smile. Yes, I'll review it first. After flipping through a few pages, he found that he couldn't understand it either. Wei Xiaonian saw the solemn expression on Editor-in-Chief Wang's face and asked hurriedly, did you find a mistake? Editor-in-Chief Wang sighed, gently closed the paper, and said helplessly, I don't understand it either. Wei Xiaonian. Others sent a table of delicacies, but I actually lacked chopsticks. What kind of thing is this? At this time, Wei Xiaonian's mind turned, and thought of something. He leaned over and said, I have a way. Editor-in-Chief Wang asked excitedly, what way? We can learn from the practices of foreign magazines for such super difficult papers, set up a review committee, and invite well-known scholars at home and abroad to conduct collective reviews. Wei Xiaonian has many friends working in foreign magazines, and is familiar with the operating model. Yes, we can send out invitations. I believe that few mathematicians will refuse the charm of the perfect conjecture of odd numbers. Editor-in-Chief Wang drew inferences from other cases and said, this way, several mathematicians with international status will participate in the academic seminar. This is the first international mathematics conference hosted by our mathematical monthly. Editor-in-Chief Wang was immersed in his own plan, and Wei Xiaonian next to him was stunned. The editor-in-chief is going to play a big game. Chapter 149 Warm-up. Then what should we do with this issue of the monthly magazine? Wei Xiaonian asked. Liemo's paper passed the review, and could only be published in the next issue of the monthly magazine. What they faced was that there was no suitable cover paper available for this issue of the monthly magazine. The cover paper is the face of a magazine. If it is not heavy enough, it often cannot leave a deep impression on readers, which is a taboo in the publishing industry. Editor-in-Chief Wang stroked his remaining hair again, frowned and pondered for a moment, and said, "The cover of this issue can be an introduction to the perfect odd number conjecture. You should immediately write a popular science article about the past and present of the perfect odd number conjecture, including how Descartes and Euler failed in front of it. Then at the end of the article, you will announce that our mathematical monthly already has a manuscript with a proof. Use the cover as a warm-up." Wei's Ionian admires the editor-in-chief's sudden idea. This has never happened in the history of Mathematical Monthly, but think about it, Mathematical Monthly has never published a paper with world-class influence, which will definitely attract readers' attention. There are also 5-star hotels reserved for professors and scholars, which should provide 3 meals and conference rooms. Choose the cheapest one, and remember to ask the hotel to provide an invoice. International round-trip air tickets are not cheap now, so we will not include them with the invitation letter. Also, the person to be invited must be a mathematician with international academic status, not someone who is just filling in the numbers. As for the special car, don't you have a few friends who work part-time as Diddy drivers? Negotiate with them and make it a group purchase. The price must be the most favorable. Editor-in-Chief Wang thought for a while and felt that he had explained everything he could think of. These are all I can think of at the moment. If you encounter any problems during the process, please feel free to contact me. Remember, the purpose of our magazine is to get every penny worth spending. He had some doubts about whether Wei's Ionian could complete the task under the premise of thriftiness. Wei's Ionian nodded helplessly. The editor-in-chief wanted to make the magazine famous, but didn't want to spend too much. Fortunately, he still had some acquaintances and connections in Yanjing. Yanda, library. Liemo helplessly looked at Zhang Yazi sitting in the corner, smiling at him. Today, Zhang Yazi had a short braided hairstyle, with small flowers dotted on her hair, which attracted the passing male students to look at her a few more times. "Classmate, there is a seat here." Zhang Yazi saw Liemo and immediately raised her jade-like thin arms to wave to him. At this time, the seats in the library were basically full, and Liemo walked over with his school bag on his back helplessly. "Classmate, you haven't been to the biology class in the past few days?" Zhang Yazi puffed up her cheeks and said, "It's strange. No teacher called your name, as if you don't exist. But I asked the teacher in the academic affairs office, and you are indeed a student in our biology department. Doesn't this girl have serious things to do?" She actually traced her identity. Liemo shook his head. "Even the Nunmi Jew, who was recorded as absent because I was only 5 minutes late, didn't call your name in class." Zhang Yazi was surprised at Liemo's transcendent status in the biology department. "I'm sorry, classmate. First of all, I want to thank you for saving a seat for me. Secondly, I'm going to start reading." Liemo felt that the girl talked too much. If she continued to talk like this, today's study plan would probably be ruined. After saying that, he ignored Zhang Yazi. Instead, he opened his school bag and took out several latest international mathematics journals. In the process of studying the perfect conjecture of odd numbers, he found that his mathematical foundation was already very solid, but he lacked cutting-edge mathematical knowledge. With the development of science and technology, mathematics is also developing. In high-end fields, many branches have been differentiated, such as the ancient number theory, which originally only studied the properties of integers. However, with the development of computer technology, number theory has made new developments in computational methods, algebraic coding, combinatorial theory, etc. And topology has differentiated into analytical topology and algebraic topology, projective geometry. So these days, he has been studying the latest theories proposed by the international mathematics community. Although these theories may not be correct, they can provide a clear idea. Seeing that the nerd no longer paid attention to her, Zhang Yazi puffed up her cheeks again. "This nerd is so hateful. I helped him save a seat, but he doesn't appreciate it." After a while of sulking, she saw Liemo was concentrating on reading, so she took out her textbook and started to review. In the evening, Liemo packed his school bag and prepared to leave the library. Zhang Yazi stretched lazily, tilted her head and asked, "Do you want to go to dinner together? I know there is a small hot pot restaurant outside the school that tastes very good." Liemo put on his school bag, shook his head, and said, "I have something else to do. Goodbye." He walked a few steps, then turned back and said, "Also, thank you for saving a seat for me today. Goodbye." This idiot Zhang Yazi had never seen such an initiative since she was a child, but she was ruthlessly rejected. If her roommates knew about it, they would definitely laugh at her. If Liemo was asked to choose a favorite place, he would not choose famous mountains and rivers, nor would he choose a bustling street. He would choose the Yanda campus. Walking on the roadside, the crowns of towering trees sway in the wind, and energetic students are playing to their heart's content. This place is full of vitality. Liemo considers himself a calm person, which just complements this environment. Every time he returns to the Yanda campus, he will have new feelings. Gently push open the dormitory door. Xia King is wearing an apron and cooking in the kitchen. She is cutting a white radish with a kitchen knife. "You're back. Tonight's meal is radish stewed with meat. You will definitely like it." Xia King never knew that she was actually very talented in cooking. As long as she has read the recipe once, she can make all kinds of dishes by imitating them, and the taste is very good. Maybe it was because she lived a disciplined life before, and now her biggest job every day is cooking. And she also found that Liemo looked very thin, but was a person who loved meat. "Thank you, call me when the meal is ready. I'll go back to my room first," Liemo said. Liemo opened his email. He needed to send the electronic version of the paper to the Mathematical Monthly, but he didn't expect that several emails from strangers would pop up. "I wonder if you have any new achievements recently. The scenery in Princeton is nice. Here is a photo. This is my phone number, XXXXX. Call me when you have time." He clicked on the email with the photo in doubt, and Zhang Zumi, with a smile on her face, was standing under a big tree. It turned out to be her. Liemo knew the person in the photo. She was Zhang Zumi, who was studying at Princeton, and was also Professor Smith's disciple. For this woman, Liemo's choice was to stay away from her. He clicked select all, and then clicked delete. Chapter 150, 750 million kilometers. Beep beep. Liemo took out his mobile phone. It was a message from the cosmic quantum wave monitor. Could it be that a new star was discovered? Clicking on the message, quantum fluctuations detected a suspected target, ID 11,210, distance 379,445 astronomical units, volume 65,890 m3, mass estimate. The target material is complex and cannot be estimated. Reminder, reminder, reminder. This target is similar to the exploration file ID 12,165 detection target. The distance is 379,445 astronomical units. He converted it in his mind. 1 light year is 63,241 astronomical units, which means that the target is 6 light years away from the Earth. The volume is 65,890 m3, which is much larger than the average small meteorite. Liemo flipped out the message sent by the cosmic quantum wave monitor last time. Quantum fluctuations detected a suspected target, ID 12,165, distance 379,450 astronomical units, volume 65,890 m3, mass estimate. The target material is complex and cannot be estimated. 2 months apart, the volume of the target was the same in the results of the 2 detections, indicating that this was the same object. Could it be the same meteorite? Last time, Liemo classified the target as a meteorite. The first detection distance 379,450 astronomical units. The second detection distance 379,445 astronomical units. In just 2 months, the target traveled 5 astronomical units, and the astronomical unit is the distance between the Earth and the Sun, 150 million kilometers. So this can't be a meteorite. No meteorite can travel a distance of 750 million kilometers in 2 months. Liemo stood up all of a sudden, Could it be that there are uninvited guests in space? Since he learned a lot about the history of Pajero's civilization, he knew that the universe is actually a very crowded place. In the vast starry sky, there are countless alien civilizations. Thinking of this, Liemo pushed open the door and said to Zaya King, who was doing yoga in front of the TV, "Please prepare the car. I need to go somewhere." Zaya King looked at the darkness outside, put away her posture, and asked, "Where are you going so late?" "It's urgent. I have to go to a remote place." Liemo didn't know how to describe Sciatian laboratory. This name was given by himself and was not shown on the map. 50 minutes later, under Liemo's guidance, the driver of the security bureau successfully drove the car to the gate of Sciatian laboratory. The door of the laboratory was locked. Liemo took out his phone and called Daeang. "Daeang, I'm outside the door. Open the door." The car drove into the laboratory. Zaya King looked curiously at this place she didn't know. The towering antennas, the dense cameras in the yard, and the patrol team of 2 people. From these, it can be seen that the security here is carefully arranged. "Boss, if you don't come, Brother Qiu and I will think you have forgotten us." Daeang has become whiter and fatter after not seeing each other for a few months. He rushed over and gave Brother Qiu a bear hug. Brother Qiu was still standing far away in the corner. Liemo said embarrassedly, "I'm very busy recently, you know. I don't feel comfortable leaving this place to others. When the mission is over, I will reward you well." Daeang said indifferently, "Look at what you said. I stay here because of Mr. Ren's order, not to mention that you saved my life." Liemo patted his shoulder heavily. Zaya King has been silently observing behind him. This big guy named Daeang should have a good relationship with the boss. Judging from his physique, he is a private bodyguard. Although he is strong, he is not a concern. In real combat, she is confident that she can knock this big guy down within 5 minutes. What really caught her attention was the thin-scarred face in the corner. His eyes would unconsciously stare at the weak parts of people, like a venomous snake, with the intuition of a security guard. This is a dangerous person. Liemo then thought of Zaya King behind him. He pointed at Zaya King in a tights and introduced her. "This is my assistant, Miss Zaya King." Then he pointed and said, "Daeang, Brother Qiu, my former bodyguards, now help me run this lab." Daeang extended his hand enthusiastically, while Brother Qiu was still standing in the corner. "Nice to meet you. Please take care of me." Zaya King shook his hand gently. It seemed that this was the former bodyguard team of the boss. Although it was late at night, the 2-person patrol team upstairs still patrolled every 30 minutes. It seemed that they were also attentive. Liemo nodded. Daeang asked from the side, "Boss, why are you here this time?" Liemo hadn't been here for a long time. If it weren't for the buzzing sound in that mysterious lab all day long, and the sky-high electricity bills every month, they would have thought that this place had been abandoned. Liemo smiled and said, "I need to conduct a small experiment. You should strengthen your vigilance. No one can open the door of the laboratory before I come out." Then he turned around and said, "Zaya King, you guard the door." "Yes, boss." "Okay, boss." The new and old bodyguards looked at each other and sparked a bit of anger. Everything in the laboratory was the same as before, and the cosmic quantum wave monitor still made a buzzing sound. Liemo sat in front of the monitor, turned on the screen, and looked for the experimental log. According to the system network records, this planet is estimated to be Uranus, and this planet has been recorded. Continue. According to the system network records, this planet is estimated to be Xianwei 1, and this planet has been recorded. Continue. According to the system network records, this planet is estimated to be Neptune, and this planet has been recorded. Continue. According to the system network records, this planet is estimated to be Triton 1, and this planet has been recorded. Continue. According to the system network records, this planet is estimated to be Charon, and this planet has been recorded. Continue. Distance: 379,450 AU. Volume: 65,890 m3. Estimated mass: the target material is complex and cannot be estimated. Right ID: 12,165. Send reminder message. Reminder message has been sent. Continue distance. 379,445 AU. Volume. 65,890 m3. Estimated mass. The target material is complex and cannot be estimated. Right ID. 11,210. Send reminder message. Reminder message has been sent. Continue. LMO found the original log, which clearly recorded that the target of unknown material traveled about 750 million kilometers in just 2 months. Why did this phenomenon occur? One possibility is that there was an error in the cosmic quantum fluctuation monitor, but according to LMO's experience, the drugs and equipment produced by the alien learning assistance system never had problems. Then there is only one possibility left, that is, 6 light years away, there is an object of unknown material traveling at an extremely high speed. Maybe it is an alien spaceship? LMO was shocked by his absurd idea, but he thought about it again. Is it really impossible? The world is big, the universe is even bigger, there are countless civilizations in the universe, maybe there is a spaceship from an alien civilization passing by. Thinking of this, he decided to change the detection target of the cosmic quantum fluctuation monitor, and by re-editing the program, let the monitor cast its eyes on that area. If it is really an alien spaceship, its trajectory must have traces of external intervention, and it is easy to distinguish. After doing all this, LMO pushed open the door of the laboratory, and Zaya King was standing straight at the door. Daeang, brother QIU, you will have to work hard here for a while. LMO held a short meeting. No one is allowed to enter the laboratory. Daeang made assurances again and again. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.